That's another fear of mine, which I know it's super unrealistic, but again, imagine like you go into the operating room and you're just getting your wisdom teeth removed, and then you get the surgery, and then you're like something feels strange, and then you look down and it's just a fucking foot that's there instead of your penis.
They put like a horse cock on you.
Or imagine like there's two penises where my nipples were, or something like that.
Ah, or a nipple where your penis was.
Oh my god, they switched my penis for a nipple? Dude, that's fucking terrifying. That's gonna be the weirdest thing ever if you're gonna have sex with a girl. You gotta tell her, like, listen, there's something you don't know about me. And instead of her thinking you're a drug dealer or something, you fucking flash your penis by lifting your shirt up. And she's like, holy shit!
Yeah, and you just whip out a freaking nipple instead of a cock.
The only thing worse than that is if she's like, hey, I have one too, and pulls down her pants, and then that's where it gets really bad.
Hey everyone. Well, actually, I almost did an irresponsible twats intro, my bad.
Fucking idiot. Now restart.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Deal With It with your hosts, Krush and Thermal, because today John is out getting pegged on the beach by Lester.
Yeah, poor John is bending over in a factory right now, letting Lester give him his product today, because, you know.
No, right now they're on the beach and Lester's tongue punching his fart box.
Jesus Christ! I would rather get surgery than ever fucking hear that again.
Okay, so backstory with that, our good friend Rin, he says this, and the first and only time he ever played Ark Survival Evolved, he got chased by this one high-level player and he was about, I don't know, 12, 15, give or take, I don't remember his age, but this one high-level guy was just chasing him around the map, and was like, come here, kid, I'm gonna tongue punch your fart box.
It sounds like some shit that someone being a villain in Dead by Daylight would say to somebody running away. Come back,
Not
kid.
even Dead by Daylight, that's freaking Outlast.
That is true, except at least in Outlast, your character's meant to be an adult. Bro, I have a question real quick. Since we were even though we were acting like retards at the very beginning of the podcast, you actually made me think of something, which, by the way, I kind of popped a little edible like 10 minutes ago. I'm feeling fine still, but, you know, throughout the podcast, you know, the more retarded side of me is going to come out. But just a question, though. Because this has happened to not only Dave, but most recently Ishowmeat. If you get caught doing something online, like jerking off or whatever, showing your cock by accident, I mean, I know you can get banned for that, but if you have a mostly kid-based audience, do you think that you might get charged as a sex offender? I'm just curious.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah. I mean, now the question is, do you think you should, or do you think you should just get banned or whatever? That's my question.
I guess it depends on the severity. If it's like Ishowmeat, I would say banned. But if it's like Darkside Phil, actually even with Darkside Phil, I'd say banned. But if it was like, let's say, Darkside Phil mixed with Ishowmeat, where you were you know, polishing the garden gnome, but you could see the gnome, then I think it deserves a charge. You know what I mean?
Phil's literally the dude that probably was saying, yo, I'm putting lotion on my dick, I'm stroking my dick, man, I'm horny as fuck. On live stream.
No, apparently that was Ishowmeat, actually.
No, what happened with Speed is a little bit different, though, because Speed, what happened was
I remember the clip.
You saw it?
Yeah, it's not like someone posted it in Discord.
I didn't see it. I purposely didn't look. What, you were curious and watched it?
No, I just saw a video post. I was like, oh, hold on. Whoa, God, and then it was like, oh, a pee-pee. Oh.
No, I don't think that's true. I think Lenny may be a super Speed fan. I'm gonna be honest.
Hell no.
Lenny's like a Speed simp. Kind of like those stupid retards that simp for Pokemon, or like John with Valkyrie, except Lenny with Speed.
Hell no. If you simp online, you're an idiot. Just go out and find a woman, because chances are they're gonna look 10 times better than what you can find on the internet.
Bro, I mean, well, I don't know if that's 100% true. It all depends, because there's some hot porn stars out there, and, you know, there's some hot, you know, chicks on the internet, obviously, but I mean, dude, simping online's not gonna get you anywhere. There was literally this dude. I mean, this is gonna come off as such a shocker, okay? Especially to any dudes out there, okay? But there was this dude that spent like $5,000 or something
I know
on
the
this.
story.
I don't know if you do actually. This was something I saw on Instagram, so you might know.
He paid $5,000 to meet I don't know if it was a streamer or an OnlyFans model. I don't remember, but he paid $5,000 to meet and hug her, and then she took the money, meets up with him, and gives him a hug on camera, and then she proceeds to take that $5,000 and go on a trip with her boyfriend.
Okay, no, you do know the story. Never mind.
Yeah, I know it.
But so she was OnlyFans. I mean, it
was OnlyFans.
It should be pretty obvious. And dude, you want to know the funny part? She was, you know how like some people, they pose and they're like having their hands crossed on their chest and like they're back to back with like someone. They look like almost like a power couple or whatever. But it was, I don't know what the caption was, but in my head, I can imagine the perfect caption being my best friend, my biggest supporter. And then the next post you see, she's with her boyfriend just dripping in money.
My brother from another mother.
Dude, some people were feeling sorry for him, but I say to hell with them. Like, if you're that fucking desperate, dude, you have any idea what you could do with that $5,000? At least buy a hooker. At least you'll get something for it. What you got? You got what? You got a fucking picture just for people to make a meme out of you. Real smart. Real smart.
Here's the thing. It's like, I know I'm probably gonna get trolled off for this, but I already know Krush and John already know this, and Teo trolls me for it all the time. But this is a big reason I don't like simping online. Is it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, it's not like they're gonna have sex with you. On top of that, even if that was the point, why would you want to have sex with them in the first place if you know nothing about them?
Listen, here's the thing, okay? And the simping itself is stupid, alright? Because if you simp and you show how vulnerable you are and how desperate you are, dude, that's not attractive at all. People are going to take advantage of you, and if you do get taken advantage, unless you're like special ed or something, then I don't give a fuck. Like, the way I see it, that's, you know, that's just, it's low-key scamming, but it's really not scamming because, you know, people are just stupid. But there's just no point, because if they don't like you, they don't like you. That's all you gotta say, okay? I mean, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But it's stupid though, because you just won't get anything though out of it. That's really, I mean, it's just that simple, you know?
The only thing you're gonna get is a negative bank account or a negative transaction.
Yeah. I mean, now there is one thing about it. I'm speaking mainly on like YouTubers or whatever, but if you do meet a girl online, even if, you know, it is a long distance thing, sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit, then you know, if you get a bond with her and y'all try and meet up or whatever, I don't see a problem with that, okay, as long as you're just not simping. Because if you simp, then that's just stupid. All right. And let me ask you this real quick, okay? Imagine your parents look through your bank account and they're like, oh geez, why do I see my son spent $5,000 on OnlyFans? Let me ask him. And then you tell, I mean, there's no way you can get out of that situation, okay? Because if
I spent $5,000 on anything, my dad would probably hog tie me to a bench and leave me outside for 3 days.
I mean, if you spend $5,000 on something that matters, like rent or whatever, necessities, that's one thing. But if it's on OnlyFans, dude, I don't think anybody in history has ever died because they couldn't donate to their OnlyFans model. And if you did, then I'm gonna laugh my ass off, alright? Because you're a fucking retard. But yeah, but there's no way of getting out of it, because if your parents type in onlyfans.com, then they're gonna just see a bunch of butts and they're gonna be like, what the hell did you spend money on? You know?
Like, you have porn for free online. Why are you buying it?
Dude, my heavily religious parents who are Christian, even they'd be like, at least watch porn. You know? But
yeah. But then you have then you have my family that if I ever paid for porn, my mom would look at me and go, you fucking idiot. You know it's free online.
Yeah.
On top of that, here's the thing. If you really wanted to see an OnlyFans model, like if you were desperate, you can always pirate it. There's people that there's people that leak their photos all over the internet. Just go find them.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I may or may not have. Listen, I may or may not have kind of gone out of my way once to do that, but I've never paid for an OnlyFans. I've just Googled pictures. Okay.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I also viewed pirated content from OnlyFans. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But the difference was I found mine on Reddit. There was literally a subreddit for a while called OnlyFans Leaks, and there was a whole full every post in that subreddit. There was like 100 posts. Each one was a link to Imager. It was an Imager link to a whole photo collection of everything on their channel, everything on their OnlyFans page, and each post was in an individual channel. This guy, whoever made that subreddit, paid for one, downloaded all the content, and then uploaded it to Imager and then put it on Reddit, and then unsubscribed, went to the next, and repeat.
I mean, that's the way to do it, though. That's the way to do it.
I remember I looked at them once, right? And I was like, holy shit, because each photo album had like it depends on which one. There was some that had like 100, then you had some that had almost like 2,000 parts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just insane.
Mm-hmm.
I might even still be able to find the subreddit, but it's probably got deleted.
Well, it doesn't matter if you can't find the subreddit. If you look for, let's say, like, no, you can't use Skybree. I'm trying to think. There was this one chick. I think her name was, like, Brit or whatever. Fit Brit something. She was, the only reason I even remember...
know who you're talking about.
I remember her because she was all over my Instagram at one point. And no, it's not because I was looking for that kind of stuff, okay? It's because of, it's because you know how meme pages promote all these OnlyFans models and shit that everyone complains about? Well, that's where I got it from. And, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I got curious, and after I saw there was an OnlyFans page, I'm like, alright, well, I'm not paying for that. Even if, like, you had to make it an account, you know, just to view, because there are free OnlyFans, I'm not even doing that. So what I did, I just typed in their name on Google, and then on Pornhub, a result came up, and I'm like, yes! And, well, that's that.
Or hell, most of them will have like a Twitter as well. And on Twitter, you can post NSFW stuff. So there you go. You pretty much get free demos on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I'm not actually that excited for, you know, OnlyFans leaks. I know how enthusiastic I just said, but it's pretty overrated, honestly.
I think you can agree with me on this. The only time you're really excited is like you found the porn video that you were watching like 4 weeks ago and you finally found it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you know that
dude.
Feeling?
Bro, yes. I know
you
that
watch
too
one
well.
video. It's like you watch one video, but you don't finish it. And it's like you were looking all for like 3 weeks for it, and then you finally find it again.
Dude, finding good porn's hard now these days. Bro, like I remember there was one time I spent like a half an hour looking for the right video. Hell, at this point, because I have like no time, I'm gonna have to set a reminder on my phone. Siri,
search porn.
Siri, remind me at 3 o'clock I have to watch porn or something like that.
Yeah, just go, hey Alexa, set reminder to look for porn at 3:45 or something.
As a young 20-year-old, well, I can't really say I'm young. At this point, I'm mid fucking 20s.
Mid 20, yeah.
Almost fucking halfway through my 20s. Dude, I don't have time.
You're only 24. That's still, I'd say mid.
It's, yeah, sadly, I hate being 24 already. I want to be young again. But dude, no, we need a new system though, because I just don't have time to be scrolling, okay? I have other shit I gotta do, alright? Like, life is fast, and I can't treat porn like a dictionary. I can't turn through each and every page looking for the right one, okay?
And plus,
it's a young man's game.
Here's the other thing when looking for porn. It's like, you could type in the exact name of the video, and then 100,000 results come out.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
And it's like, especially for me, it's like when I'm, let's say, on the hub or something, on Pornhub or something, I have to look up specific tags because that's the type I like. And then there's like 1,000 videos all not related to it.
Yep. Nope. Life is a struggle, dude.
Yeah, because I'll say this, like, I have a specific, what's the word?
Everyone has a specific taste, okay? Everyone's kinky and horny. It just
but my taste is kind of my taste is the reason my BDSM test comes out weird, because mine usually you have to pay for content for it, but I always find ways to find pirated shit for it. But
what? Huh? Well,
are
you talking about OnlyFans, or like, are you talking about like on Pornhub Premium or something like that? Like,
usually it's like private Pornhub accounts.
Oh, okay.
And it's not anything illegal. It actually doesn't involve sex, which is weird.
Okay, well, I figured it wasn't illegal, because I'm pretty sure I could tell if you were an EDP Lenny at this point.
That's
Lenny's
true.
search history would consist of cupcakes, pink cupcakes on Pornhub. Oh man, I don't even want to think about it, but that's just what you would say.
Yeah, no, I'm not like that. But mine, like when I'm searching for a good video for me, it takes forever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I have like 40 different websites I have to scroll through just to find the good one.
We're young men. We need a new system. Hey, Pornhub, if you can invent, like an artificial intelligence app that can already find the video, that we need, then I will be an investor. I promise you that. I'm not going to invest big money like my coworker who, even with all this free...
Pornhub,
if you want to
GPT.
talk about real quick, I was going to say something else and wrap up this conversation, because we spent 23 minutes talking about porn. But,
who cares?
But
that's a good topic right there.
But if you think that OnlyFans dude was bad, though, again, I've mentioned this many times, but I'll mention this again. My coworker, well, my previous coworker at this point, he's so stupid on so many levels, but the stupidest thing he's probably done is spend $10,000 in 10 years on porn. That's $1,000 a year, bro. Like,
what the hell?
You didn't know that?
No, you told me about it. I'm just giving a reaction for the camera.
I don't know. He buys Playboys at Royal Farms sometimes.
Who buys Playboys these days?
He bought them.
I've never even opened a Playboy.
Yeah, my coworker was actually the first one to ever give me my first Playboy at the ripe old age of 20, because I've never even needed them. All right, I've never even needed them. Even back then, I never even needed them, because we had. Dude, I said this in the original podcast, but I didn't even have a phone back then and I could watch porn. I just need my Nintendo DS and then I was set.
Exactly. It's like nowadays you don't even need a phone. Nowadays, before you ask, yes, I've done this, you could literally watch it on your TV.
I do have a question though. How mad do you think would your parents be,
I'm not
Lenny?
talking about my kink.
No. I'm not asking you. I don't think I want to know, actually, because Lenny's into toes, clearly.
No, but... I'm not into feet.
But
I ain't going into detail on what I'm into, because my parents don't even know. That's how classified I keep it.
All right, well, I don't really want to know, to be honest, and I don't think anyone watching really wants to know. We're probably going to assume feet, but just leave it at that. It can be feet. Code. It can be called code feet, okay? That's what we can call it, even though it's not feet.
Not calling it code feet.
But anyway, let me ask you this, though. How mad would your parents be if you did spend $5,000 on OnlyFans, though, but you actually were able to pull the model, because you spent the $5,000 to get her attention, and then she fell in love with you? Do you think your parents would still be mad?
Yes.
Mine would too, obviously. I'm just wondering, because if you think about it, if you pull, even if you spend $5,000, but you end up marrying like an OnlyFans model, which can sound pretty bad and sad if given the current circumstances.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, it's probably a sweet life, because she probably makes a lot of money and she can just spoil your ass and you can just live a carefree life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but here's the catch, too. You also have to worry about, it's like being married to like Riley Reid.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, but I'm talking about,
it's like, who's to say she's not gonna like leave to you and go, hey babe, I'm gonna go work for a while. and then she comes back and there's like 40 black dudes following her.
Okay, well, if that was the case, then I would not, I would run away from that bitch. You kidding me?
Yeah, because
I'm talking about only the
I'm not a
chicks.
cuckold.
I'm talking about the chicks that what do you call it? That only post like naked pictures of themselves online.
Nudes.
Yeah, they're not even, with other dudes or even other people.
Then, I mean, that you do make a point because...
Wait, I have a question. What if she was with another girl? Oh, you know what that means?
You said that, and my eyes. I don't know why I'm giving like facial reactions, like you can see me, but I was just like, I pretty much did the that's genius.
Brain blast. I just came up with $1 billion IQ, billion IQ play.
But then you have to worry, and especially in this day and age, you have to worry about her leaving your ass for another girl.
Well, then I just make sure she doesn't sign a prenup. Then I get half of what she makes. No, that's when you make... Well, honestly, the problem with prenups is it's like, yes, they're good, and it says, oh yeah, if you're married, they can only take X amount, but the problem with them is, let's say you get married, and I'm gonna say you have $100,000 to your name, right? Yeah.
But then your prenup says your wife only can get $1,000 of that $100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you win the lottery and now you have $100 million to your name, and your wife divorces you. She'll get the $1,000, but then she can sue you, saying the prenup said, out of every $100,000 you have, I get $1,000.
That's gay.
Yeah, you see my point?
Yeah, well, guess what?
It's really, really stupid.
Well, guess what then? I'll act like a big fucking baby about the whole thing, and then I'll sue her and make her pay child support because I'm acting like a baby over it. That's what's gonna happen.
Pay child support.
Pay child
to
support.
You.
Pay child support to me because I'm a fucking baby.
I'm a fucking.
I act like a fucking
I'm a
baby.
man child.
I'm a man child. I'll be like Wings of Redemption, except with none of the pedophilia and none of the fat.
Yeah, you're sitting in court. I'm just going, I can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man. Just like, I just wanted to sit here and drink my fucking Pepsi, have a side. I just want to have a good game, man. Sorry,
obviously, I'm joking though, but. Hey, I'm just saying though, I'm just saying a bi chick with bringing her girlfriend with me, that sounds like a pretty good gig. So you can't really tell me I'll say this though, and there's probably one person in existence that this has ever happened to, okay? So I doubt that.
Oh, there's more. I'm pretty sure there's more.
Maybe like 2, okay? 2. There's only 2 people in history that have successfully, and I can't name no names because it's so, classified at this point, because if we could unlock their secrets and riz of how to pull OnlyFans girls by spending $5,000 to get their attention, that's a recipe for a lot of dudes, okay?
Johnny Sins
It's like
Jr.
the Krabby Patty secret formula. We have to keep it hush hush and under wraps, okay?
Yeah, that's like Johnny Sins Jr. if someone manages to do that.
Well, Johnny Sins don't need to spend money. He's just a man. That's it. But dude, he's just a hardworking. He works all the jobs in existence, so he probably makes like $1 trillion a year. So that's how he pulls the bitches, along with his extremely big cock. What?
Yeah.
What?
He meets a girl at a bar and he whips it out. It's like fishing.
But listen, just to wrap up, I guess whatever we're talking about, because I'm kind of.
I don't even know anymore.
I don't even know what we're saying anymore. But just to wrap up this conversation, if you were that one of those 2 people, okay? Do you think spending this $5,000 on a girl for that investment is worth it?
No.
I don't know, dude. If you were guaranteed though that guaranteed, 100%.
I mean, you could get a ring for $5,000. Why not just, get a ring for a girl that you find in public for free?
No, you don't get it though. You don't get it. I'm saying how you spend the $5,000 on the chick and get her attention. That way she knows of you, and then you somehow get her to fall in love with you.
Here's the problem with OnlyFans models. I'm pretty sure they look great on camera, but I can make them go from 10 out of 10s to 6 out of 10s just with a Kleenex tissue.
Well, yeah, but that's all girls.
That's true.
I'm gonna get canceled for saying that.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a shit either.
Here's the thing.
Can you hoes stop wearing makeup so you can quit lying to me about your looks? That's all I gotta say.
Here's the catch. Women have makeup, men have beards. So it's like you get what I mean?
No, that's not true.
Women?
No, you can't make that comparison because men's beards are natural. Unless you're wearing like a fucking wig beard or whatever, which that would seem hella weird.
Yeah, it will. But here's the thing, it does hide some features. Like, let's say some people have like really small chins, they grow a huge beard and they look manly as hell, like lumberjack, like stereotypical lumberjack beard.
Yeah, but that's not a good. Yeah, but you can't use that as a comparison though, because women or men, just to use both in this example, let's say that you have like a scar or something on the back of your head, like right near your normal hairline. Okay, you could just grow your hair out and then you'll be fine. Nobody will see. You don't need to put a million different layers of makeup on and look like Kim Kardashian minus the implants, unless you have implants.
Gotcha.
So, but I don't care. I don't care though if you wear makeup. Just so we're clear, I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying that I like girls natural, and it's fine if you put some makeup here and there because most women do it. But if I'm gonna be seeing you a lot, don't always have makeup on because I don't want your makeup to go in my eyes and me to end up looking like EDP in that makeup picture. Which Jesus, that still gives me nightmares.
Because here's the thing, it's like this is my opinion with makeup. It's like you want to wear a little bit of eyeliner, go ahead, but if I'm going out with a girl and she wears like layers and layers of makeup, if she wants to do it, I can't stop her. But she doesn't have to do it for me because I don't care.
You want to know what I would do? I would be like, hey, I like makeup too, and then go to the date blackface.
Oh, hell. I got this, pulls out bucket of black paint, sticks cock in it. It's makeup.
Oh my god. Dude, no, I don't want to paint my cock black. That's gonna hurt.
What if you do that and it's like fertilizer for your cock? It just grows an extra 3 inches.
Alright, you're supposed to be a doctor, so tell me the science behind that. How would that work exactly? And how would it not shrivel up like a leaf after fall and just die? Okay, it's gonna look like the fish in the wheelchair in the SpongeBob episode Chocolate. Okay, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna. I don't even think it'll look like that. It'll just look like a cock painted black.
It's gonna look like a slug if it got exposed to like salt or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably a little more accurate because, of course, paint's probably pretty cold.
Yeah, and I'm sure it feels great. Clearly. According to Lenny, at least.
Well, I've never put paint on my cock, so I don't know.
Dude, that could be Lenny. When you start your OnlyFans career, that can be the first thing you do.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Instead of posting like pictures of yourself like Nikado Avocado, because he's like the only dude I can think about besides Johnny Sins that has an OnlyFans, which I don't even want to think about the Nikado Avocado OnlyFans.
Ask Ayla about that one.
She has a subscription to Nikado Avocado.
Knowing her, probably.
Alright, well, Lenny's probably going to go over to her house now and take a peek, but...
I rarely ever go over to her house.
I can picture Lenny having more of a Steve-O type OnlyFans where he just does crazy shit, but just make sure that... He does it, though, because he knows he can't upload on YouTube. I think that's why. But it wouldn't be, like, nudity. That's what Lenny would do.
Just like, my name's Lenny, and today we're firing a cannon out my second floor window.
Oh, no, I'm talking about more of the shock videos, like one guy, one screwdriver, and one guy, one jar type deal.
Hey man, my name's Lenny, and today I'm gonna be breaking into my neighbor's house using a cannon.
It's gonna be just
Using
the
a
most
Civil War
illegal shit
cannon.
ever, too. Yeah, you're gonna just start egging your neighbor's house live on OnlyFans and be like, it's OnlyFans, there's no rules here. Apparently the law doesn't exist either. It's anarchy.
My name's Lenny, and today we're hunting black guys.
and Lenny's gonna live stream himself on OnlyFans doing a drive-by.
We're gonna look more like teens than we already are.
You're a teen, I'm not. You're not gonna be a teen for much longer though, buddy, so...
Nope. This is one thing that I don't know why. Remember, there's one person that we know that always thought I was your age for some reason.
What, Cadence?
Yeah, Cadence. She always
You can say Cadence out loud. She doesn't care.
Okay.
And it happened in a live stream, so...
That's true. She thought I was your age for some reason. She thought I was your and John's age, but then when she found out, at the time I was 18... She was like, how the what? What? You're 18? What? It's like, I'm 19 now, so this happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, no, me and Krush are 6 years apart. No, 5 years apart, my bad.
No, I mean, to be honest, I didn't know your real age either. I mean, when we started talking again, like 2019 or whatever, I think I was like, what, 19? You were 15 or something? I thought you were 17.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be honest.
A lot of people think I'm older than I actually am.
But I remember you telling me, though, because I thought you were 17. I remember Snapchatting you, and I think I said, how does it feel being an adult or something like that? And you told me then the next day, or the same day, oh, I'm 16. I'm like, what? You're 16?
I remember that.
Did you pull that number out of your ass? Like...
I don't think it was Snapchat. I think it was Discord. Because I didn't have your Snap for a long time.
I don't remember. But that's what I thought.
Yeah, I was like Discord, and you said, I hate being an adult, don't you? Or something like that. And I was like, I'm not an adult, so I don't really know yet.
Fucking just stupid ass question.
It's like when Krush was 19, I was about... Yeah, no, I was about 15 or 14 going on 15, give or take. And I remember, even when we started, like, twats and stuff, I wasn't even 18.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I've known Lenny for a long-ass time, so that's whatever. That's the difference between... you know, talking to somebody that's a little bit younger than you versus being like Lester B, who goes in the random Gmod lobbies and who makes friends with 13-year-olds when he's almost 25.
Yeah, no, that I do not agree with.
Because I've known Lenny since 2016, so it's not like I just met him on 2019 and I'm like, and I go up to Lenny or I DM Lenny, I'm like, hi, and Lenny's like, hi, and then I'm like, want a cupcake?
Oh, god damn it. I think the first ever words you said to me was, give me your money or I shoot. RCG.
That was on a Minecraft server for
yeah,
most people that don't know. But
yeah, no, I met Krush because he mugged me in the streets of Baltimore.
Oh yeah, dude. I had the 45 out and was ready. You were lucky you got out. We were about to feed you to the meth head homeless man if you didn't give us money.
There's still one thing I always find hilarious is if you go on, if you ever go on my old engine account, you scroll.
Engine's discontinued now.
I know, but beforehand, if you went on my old engine account and scroll down a little bit, you would see a post from Krush that says "Happy Birthday, Fallout Boy," because I used to have like my skin as Vault Boy and everything, so everyone just called me Fallout Boy.
But yeah, Lester, stay away from 13-year-olds, by the way, you weirdo.
Yeah, you fucking nick. Wait.
Well, Lester, you fucking...
you fucking...
Raccoon.
You say raccoon, then I just say the hard R. Moving on from this topic, I have one question, and looking at what you DM'd me earlier, this is like... I actually am curious on your opinion on this.
Yes.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, because The way I see it, I mean, it's simple in my mind. Well, listen, real quick. When you say aliens, are you talking about aliens as a whole, or are you talking about like aliens that people have found on Earth?
I'm saying in a whole.
Okay, well, as a whole, I don't have a reason not to, because we're alive right now. We're on a planet that, is sustaining and living. So why couldn't there be another, species like that out there? You know?
Oh yeah, because this is my view on it. Could it be intelligent? Who knows? And when I mean intelligent, I mean like humans.
Mm-hmm. We also don't know if
who's to say that
they can evolve like humans either, because humans have evolved obviously in history, and you never know. Maybe they could. Maybe it's like Amish aliens who never want to get with the program, and they're just stuck in the same, environment for ever since they were, created or whatever. So,
yeah, this is one thing that I always believed in, and I heard this reference, and I think it's perfect. Like,
yes.
You know how some people always believe, like, no, the Bible says that we are the only intelligent life because we were made in God's image. You know those?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I'm gonna be honest, but I mean, from a scientist, because I'm Christian, but I keep forgetting that.
I'm Christian, man. I just forget.
Dude, I mean, I'm stoned as well, so like, you gotta just excuse me for a second, but
Jesus Christ, man!
Dude, that was
Jesus Christ. Is that like a chocolate? Is that like a chocolate tree, man? What the hell is Jesus Christ?
Jesus Christ? Is that a porn search or something?
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to.
but no, but no. I mean, I'm Christian, and I do believe in God and all that. But I mean, I do think that. And listen, using the Bible, I mean, technically the Bible isn't saying, I don't think, isn't saying that, let's say that there was another race of humans or whatever. Like, not like, color races or whatever. I'm talking about a whole nother species of humans, okay? There could be another out there. You never know.
Or humanoid.
Yeah, exactly. And the Bible technically wouldn't be wrong in that case, if that's what it said, because I forgot, but...
Yeah, this is... You want to hear the one...
But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
I read?
You get what I'm saying? Okay, alright.
Yeah. You know what's one saying that I don't remember if I heard it or read it, but I think I read it somewhere on Instagram or Reddit. And it says, saying there isn't aliens that exist just because we haven't found them is like taking a spoon and picking up a little bit of ocean water with the spoon and saying sharks don't exist because they're not in the spoon of water.
I mean, I'll say this, though. Let's say that in infinity years from now that, we were able to evolve to the point where we can, go from galaxy to galaxy and, you know how the universe keeps expanding? We're able to just kind of expand with it, or almost, and I'm not talking about like Zatina at a mukbang. I'm talking about, like with technology or something like that. I'm sorry, I had to, but
no, it's fine.
If let's say that
just puts a bad image in my head.
Does it give you PTSD, Lenny? Is that what happened to you?
No.
You sound like Henry when he's like guilty as shit with that. No.
No, sir.
But no, like, let's say that we were able to somehow do that and like know every single inch of the universe. If there's no other aliens, then look, I'm not saying it can't be like that. I'm just saying I think it's possible there's aliens out there, but we just, like you said, we haven't come across them yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, because the thing with the universe is it's everything and nothing at the same time. We truly can't understand it. Not at our time frame. And I remember me and one other person in our Discord, he's more of me and Rin's friend. I think you've talked to him maybe once, but
what's his gamer tag?
He brought up Fire Strike Alpha.
I've kind of seen them. I'm not friends with them though. I don't know enough about them.
Yeah, I remember he brought up this point. He says the universe is everything and nothing, and the universe is always expanding into nothing. Therefore, where does the universe expand to if the universe is both everything and nothing at the same time?
Yeah.
He always.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I know that you can't lie. That's kind of like a shower thought that melts your brain a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm basically saying though is, we don't have the answers for yes and no when it comes to the universe and with aliens and all that. There's no yes and no. That's my eyes. Now, let's get into something real fast. So, the aliens that we quote unquote found, let me just be broad. Do you believe in that? Do you believe that's accurate? Like, those are real aliens?
Just to be clear, we're not talking about the ones from Mexico, are we?
Talking about the ones that look like they're like they were fucking Cleopatra like 10 years ago or whatever.
Oh,
the
no.
ones that are just as bony as her.
No.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I think this is my view on it. A lot of those are just people wanting attention.
You wanna know why I think it is? I think it's just another political ploy, which I'm gonna sound like a conspiracy. Sorry, I'm so stoned.
No,
Theory, theorist. But I think it's just to distract people from what the government is doing. I think that's really all it's used for. Just a ploy. What do you think, Lenny?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to put my opinion on that because the thing with me is I don't like making those statements more, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But let me also say a few other things, though. I mean, the way I see it, I think it's possible aliens could have been, aliens could have been here. It's unlikely, but we also have to remember that we don't know if there's aliens out there because they could be out there, but they're just a lot smarter than us or a lot dumber than us. They're either dumber than us and they can't leave their planet, or they're extremely smart and they're like Star Wars smart or something, and they're able to jump hyperspace to Earth and then invisibilize themselves, basically, just so they can remain undetected, Hell, maybe there's aliens with us right now, we just don't know they're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that though, in my opinion, is a thought for like another subject. Because that one's one that you can go in depth on 100 times over.
Well, I was also gonna say real quick as well that, I mean, you just don't know though, because there's been other. You ever go online, and I know that you watch Mr. Nightmare probably as much as me, because I love Mr. Nightmare. But have you ever seen those unexplainable? Probably a little less, because I was literally listening to him today. But
yeah, I wasn't.
Do you know how there's some videos out there that are just called like unexplainable instances caught on camera or something like that? Like some of those weird things. There's some really weird ones, like where you see some weird creatures and stuff like that. Like there was, I'm not talking about like Bigfoot or anything, because I mean Bigfoot, the concept of Bigfoot is clearly. Well, okay, no, I take it back. Len, you just reminded me that Bigfoot does exist. His name is Lester B, and he lives in the description below, because I'm not doxing him on video because that wouldn't be smart. I'm kidding. I'm not.
He lives in
He lives in John's basement. That's the address he lives in, okay?
He lives in the forest near you.
Oh god, dude, now you're trying to scare everyone? That's not cool, man. Nah, that's kind of fucked up.
I'm just saying as a placeholder.
No, I gotcha. But no,
he lives at the nearest Shake Shack.
He lives at the nearest homeless shelter, okay? So pay him a visit. He's lonely. Unless you're like 13-year-old, because he might, get a little too excited for that. But
or if your name is Chun-Li.
Yeah. Or Chum-Li from Pawn Stars.
Bruh.
But anyway, though. There's been some weird, and granted, you never know what's, edited and whatnot, but there's also been, like, kids saying lines from like someone that's been dead. You know, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like they've said that they basically said they know exactly what happened in like a specific place, even though they're like 3 years old, and you know what I'm talking about. And I hope everyone watching does too, because I don't really know how to explain it, but
I can if you want.
Make it brief, because I feel like you're gonna go on a whole video essay about it.
Reincarnation.
Well,
that's
one hell of a way to summarize it. Okay, all right.
Well, yeah, that's also the most accurate way of summarizing it, because think of it this way. It's like reincarnation. What that says, it's like they remember their past life.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean?
Yes. No, I got
it's like they're saying events that happened or lines from someone that's been dead. It's just them remembering their past life.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, again, everything's just mysterious, y'all. We don't know everything. You don't know everything. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, no, there's been some weird shit though in history that's ever happened. Yo, wait. Here's yo, real quick, I want to show one of the videos for a second. This was Lenny, can you still see my screen?
Yeah. Hold on, give me a second to... Okay, I see you.
This was
the Dobby video?
This was one of them. It's not the one I was initially thinking of, because the one I was thinking of originally had like, it was some like Brazilian dude in like a street corner or something like that, and there was like a little elf thing that started running around, and it was weird. But yeah, this is one of the videos though that I find more weird than like them actually discovering like quote unquote aliens or whatever.
Yeah, just the mysterious things that you can't really explain.
Now this is probably fake. This is probably fake because I mean it's humanoid, number one, really humanoid, and someone realistically could be this size, like a kid or something, wearing like a costume.
Or hell, honestly, it could even be a puppet.
You can have puppets that do that?
Yeah.
How? How do you have a puppet doing that?
Ever heard of a marionette?
I mean, I've never seen one in action.
So a marionette, it's those little things that they have those... It's like the little T wooden things that some people are able to control really well. Some marionettes are huge, and they can do stuff like that.
Remotely? As well?
Not remotely, but here's the thing with that video. It doesn't show the roof.
Oh,
who's to
that's
say
what you're
someone
talking
ain't
about.
up there with a roof with clear string?
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. It just... Yeah, it just... I don't know. I mean, I can see it from both angles, though. But this is where... Hold on. Where was it? Alien discovered... Where was it again? In Mexico?
I think it was Mexico.
This is the one. Grandmaster Yoda got dug up from his grave from Dagobah. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that one got debunked.
Yeah, yeah. If this was Jar Jar Binks, I can't think of a good Yoda line. I almost said like "Misa pissed off at you" or something, but yeah, if this was me, I'd be mad as fuck. But dude, come on, like, there's no way this is an actual alien. Who knows? It's probably like a fucking little kid or something. But it's probably fake though. I don't believe in this.
I think it's fake. And
Yeah.
to be honest, this is gonna sound weird, but nowadays you never know. It could just be cake.
Oh yeah, true. That is true. That is true.
Because there is a video of them cutting it, and it's cake.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't believe it. I've also never looked at like the UFO files or whatever that were exposed a while ago, but I don't believe that. I don't believe the aliens that people want us to think are here are actually here. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Unless the ones that they're talking about. Not saying aliens aren't, in existence, but I feel like if there were aliens out there with us right now that wanted us to know we're there, they would want us to know, and it would go viral pretty quick. The government can't seal up everything, you know? And if they're smart enough to avoid people, they could definitely avoid the United States government. So.
that kind of reminds me of something. And hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to think of the words. But there was this one creepypasta, so it's not like a credible thing. It's a creepypasta, so it's made up. And well, you know how how on Earth we send out these messages we send out messages and such, right?
Yes.
So in that creepypasta, what happened was they were sending out messages, right? And then they get one back. But then they receive a message, right? And the message they received, once they deciphered it, it said, "Be quiet. Be quiet, or they will hear you."
Be quiet, or they'll hear you. That's pretty neat. That's some way to get you chills. All right.
Yeah. No, this is one thing I love about like the alien conspiracies is a lot of them, they may just seem really fake, but a lot of them can give you chills.
Oh yeah, for sure. You want to know where I think if aliens wanted war with us, or if they wanted to like surprise us, there's a few ways they could do so. But you want to know what? What are you laughing at?
Genitals don't define gender. How does removing them affirm it?
Oh, yeah. I was just looking through Twitter.
Good.
But what I was gonna say
that's
though,
really good.
What I was gonna say though, was if you want to know how aliens can really take us down though, or like immediately get to us, find a way to attack us through the internet. Number one. Internet's the easiest thing to get to us. I mean, everyone has their phones on them. Their GPS tracking is a bitch, and it exists. So, you know, you can't really hide no matter where you go. But that's number one. And number two, the only place I can think of, which is a realistic reason / way aliens could hide, if they actually are here, that we could find out legitimately, is the ocean, in my opinion. Especially like Mariana's Trench or whatever, you know? That's the only place I can think of where they could hide without people finding them out. If they actually are here.
On top of that, it's like we know more about space than we do our own oceans.
Why is that? I'm just curious. Why is that? Why don't we explore the planet first and then move on to the DLC space? Do you know why?
So, do I know the exact reason? No. Do I have like a theory behind it?
What's your theory?
Yeah. My theory is sending out a telescope to go in orbit is much easier and cheaper than building a submarine that can handle the depth such as the Mariana Trench.
That is true. And you don't want another ocean gate, but, well, then again.
Yeah, you don't want an ocean gate. On top of that, it's like, even with sonar can only go so far because water does act as a median. But the thing with water is, unlike air, it has a tendency to also stop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get the difficulty. I get that, okay. But I feel like the government could find a way to make that happen, though. I think that, you know, if there's some time, preparation, and if they have a solid plan, unlike the Ocean Gate, because the Ocean Gate was not, it wasn't a good plan. They already ran tests beforehand, and they knew that the, what's it called? They knew that the boat would probably sink or whatever, but these retards did it anyway. They're like, oh, hush, hush, that's not a big issue. Yeah, fucking drowning is not an issue when you're in the ocean, apparently, is it? But I'm just saying, if they could put their mind to it, they probably could. But I just thought of another reason why they might not, and you want to know why? They probably have, well, there's a couple reasons. I mean, you know that they do missile testing, in, like, the
that
ocean,
is true.
right? Yeah, they don't want people getting hurt, but our U.S. government's too grinchy and, like, Ebenezer Scrooge to care, I think, that much about people, unless you're, like, illegals nowadays. But It could also be because they're doing other stuff out there, like they have a base, naval base out there or something, and they don't want people like finding out what they're doing. It's like some Cold War shit, you know? That's why I could think of.
This is another possible theory, but this falls more into conspiracy theory territory, and that's they already know what's down there, but they don't want public panic.
Oh,
like Cthulhu or Godzilla shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one too. I like that one.
Yeah, the reason I was kind of holding that one back tiny bit was that relies more on the conspiracy side.
I mean,
I would say
it does, but because you know that we all know that many species have gone extinct, and one of the species that I'm sure would terrify the shit out of people would be megalodons, okay?
Oh, don't even get me started. Sharks are like a fear of mine as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of sharks too, because after that one surfer got her arm bit off, I kind of was scared to go in the ocean after that. But, yeah, I mean, who knows? There could be some like massive creature down there. It's gonna be like the lantern fish from Finding, I almost said SpongeBob, from Finding Nemo, and it's gonna like eat your ass or something if it gets woken up or pissed off. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's a good theory though. Yeah. I didn't even think of that for some reason.
When you said they were hiding in the ocean as well, that just kind of reminded me of another clip. I sent it to you, by the way. But
I thought you were gonna say it reminds you of they're hiding in the trees or something like that.
No. Yeah, I'm a vet. Yeah, I'm a Vietnam vet. You caught me. But play that little video I sent you, not the full thing, just like the intro to it. And this was the only thing that came to my mind.
All right, here we go. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Into the darkness.
Into darkness.
Well, you think something like that's in the ocean?
No, it just when you said they could be hiding in the ocean, that's what it reminded me of.
The government versus the Vietnam. All right. All right, is that good or?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe the fucking Enterprise is hiding in Marianas Trench, and all the Star Trek nerds are gonna go crazy if they hear about it.
Yeah, the Enterprise.
Yeah, all the Star Trek nerds are gonna try and jump in the water to swim to and drown in the process. Except Lenny, of course. Except Lenny, though. Lenny can just belly flop into it and then sink faster than you can fucking say Johnny Sins. So, right, Lenny?
Floats, Krush.
No, you'll sink. You're like an anchor, Lenny.
Okay, but that does... Actually, this is weird to think about. Floating on water doesn't matter weight, it's density.
Alright, well, you get what I'm saying, though. I'm saying you're an anchor, okay, buddy?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You sound so pissed. You sound so done with it.
No, I just need a little bit of water. My throat's getting dry.
Alright, you want to get some water real fast?
Yeah, I'm good. This is going to sound weird, but ever since I had COVID, my throat gets dry really quickly.
I mean, it could... Are you sure it's not because of the weather? Because, I mean, when it gets cold out, that's what happens to me.
No, because it's been happening for about 2 years. No, not 2 years. A year. Going on a year.
You know what's crazy? I'm not trying to get into more conspiracy theory, but you kind of reminded me of something was saying that there's been times, obviously, and on recording too, which I hate it with a passion, is I get allergies out of nowhere. And you want to know what's crazy is I didn't have that until... I never really had that. I mean, I would have it here and there, okay, when I was like sick, but I never really would have allergies going crazy until after I got my COVID shot.
You know, that is a good point, because here's the thing with the COVID shot. This is, it, like you said, it is in conspiracy theory territory, but I do think there is more to it than meets the eye.
I mean, I don't deny that the COVID shot's meant to help you, but people, number one, need to acknowledge that unless you're like old or whatever, then you really don't need the shot. Like, you'll get it anyway. I got both shots, probably 3 of them, and I still got COVID anyway. I don't think it really hurts you. It's just like the flu, basically. If you get caught with it between the ages of, like, let's say 15 and 60, okay? I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just old people and young kids that may need, like, a cure. But what I think happened is that I think that because they're rushing a cure when the pandemic happened, okay?
Vaccine.
Well, yeah, but it's the same thing. It's a cure, I
It's
guess,
not.
technically. What's the difference? Damn it, what's the difference?
A vaccine prevents. A vaccine prevents, a cure cures.
Oh, come on, that's what I meant, and you know it.
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time. Remember, science major.
But anyway, making me feel like I'm the monkey in the cage. I'm not black.
Because you are. You're in my territory. Continue,
fuck,
don't worry.
Fuck, what was I saying, though? Hold on, I kind of lost
You were talking
topic.
about, like, you're talking about how young kids and old people only need the shot.
Yeah,
but then it's like you're gonna get it anyway, more than likely.
Well, yeah, because you don't need the flu shot. You can get it to try and prevent it, but when you're working under crazy pressure from, the public and from the government, then mistakes are made. And this isn't a conspiracy theory shit either, but, like, you're gonna try and get the product out as soon as possible because it's obviously an urgent issue. And I mean, like I said, mistakes can be made. Maybe if you might not make it without some kinks in it, And that's the reason why some people think Betty White died, because she got the COVID shot and then it gave her a heart attack like a year later or something, And that's why other people have died because of that shot. And it's probably, it's obviously not meant to be a poison or anything, at least from what I'm concerned. But I think that there just needs to be more correction with it. They need to really fix the effects, What do you think, Lenny?
It was rushed in development, in my opinion. It was rushed. Meaning there's bound to be faults, but, when you're on a strict deadline, you tend to overlook them.
Well, yeah, and you're under crazy pressure, and I mean, it's technically your fault if people die over it, but at the same time, though, like, you shouldn't be, I don't think you should be held accountable fully for it, given the circumstances, because you're trying to represent a greater good than evil, So.
Yeah, and this is where it gets kind of questionable, because it's like, before, how most of the time when you get a vaccine, you consent to it?
Yes.
That prevents the maker or whoever to get in trouble from you getting it and dying.
Bro, real quick, you want to know what's even crazier is that, dude, our stupid government and a lot of jobs out there, they basically say you need a shot or else you can't work for us. How crazy is that?
Yeah, no, that was stupid. That's stupid in my opinion.
My last job, I'm not going to say where I worked, but just to give a little bit of an idea of what it does, I needed the COVID shot for a job that... I needed the COVID shot, though. Not in my dick, Lenny. I needed the COVID shot before I even started working, which I already had at that point. So, it wasn't like I had to go get another one, but I needed a COVID shot to work the job. When the job was mostly online, it was 90% online. You barely ever had to go in. So why? What's the point, What's the point at all? It's just so stupid. Now, obviously, I don't think that's a requirement now, really, for most jobs, since, the pandemic's over, okay? But
yeah, pretty much for the most part.
I mean, I don't see how it could be going still. If someone's screaming COVID or whatever, dude, get over it. You're a boomer. You're probably have dementia or something. But
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden probably thinks we're in 2020 right now, or 1958, whatever.
President Biden, what's your view on
Oh
COVID,
no,
man? It's like, President Biden, what's your view on COVID? I got hairy legs.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something like he thinks his mind's in 1958, so he's gonna just drop the hard R on stage or something.
He's like, you know what? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You know, he probably was in 1958 in that moment. I bet Charlemagne loved that comment. He's the black dude that Biden was talking to. But yeah,
I think he was in 1958 when he said, "Yeah, I have a sister. Yeah, I have a sister, and she's also my loving wife."
Well, in that case, he's back from 1158 because that shit ain't recent. So, at least I hope not. At least not where I'm from. Maybe where Lenny's from, but not where I'm from.
Hell no.
Oh my lord, bruh. What was I gonna say? Fuck. We were talking about yeah, the illness though. I don't really have anything else to say about that. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't really have anything else. I tend to... The only thing that I do complain about the COVID shot was my dad. He's always like, oh, you may need the... She's like, this is what he does. He's like, oh, you never know, you should get the booster. But when I got my COVID shots, I was 17, so I didn't have the... I physically could not say yes or no.
Dude, that's stupid too, though. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but it's not really stupid. Because shots, I get it, though. But if it was other stuff like a surgery, then I wouldn't fuck with that.
But, this is the big thing. Because, I got both rounds of shots, and they made me feel miserable. I hated it.
Oh, you're talking about after you got the shot? Like, the same day and all that?
The next day. And, like, actually more for the next 3 days.
Yeah, that's what the COVID shot does. It did that with me, too.
But when the booster came out, I remember my dad, he was like, hey, you should get the booster. You never know when a job or something would require it, right? This is exactly what I told him. It's like, I will get the booster shot under one condition, and that someone has me at gunpoint.
Dude, the way you said that, that's the whole thing. That just sounds so stupid with jobs. That's basically saying, get those shots so you can have more employment options. Dude, that's not even the point of the shot. The shot's supposed to be for you and your health.
I can understand. Yeah, I understand. Let's say you work in a hospital. That's more or less understandable in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's a hospital. You're going to be around people with compromised immune systems all day.
Yeah.
The least thing you would want to worry about is someone getting sick because of you.
Okay, well, listen, I'm not saying those jobs, though. I'm just talking about, like, an office job or whatever. That's my example.
Then what's the point? What's the point?
That's what I'm saying.
Or, you know...
Yeah.
These are the only jobs that I can really see requiring the COVID shot, and that's any job in the medical field and or teaching in elementary school and middle school.
Yeah, I agree.
Or when I say medical field, I don't mean like just in the hospital. I also mean like nursing home and, you know, just nursing and such in general. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that should be given.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, not in that matter.
Lenny.
I did have a...
Oh, yeah, go on. Go on. No, go for it.
And that's a difference between transphobic and not agreeing with opinions.
You want to know what's funny? You want to know why I wrote that? Because, well,
I remember.
I had a good week on YouTube. Like, I've been chilling for the most part, kind of like easing back on it because I've been busy. But
being chilling.
But I had a video which was a Wings of Redemption video, which y'all should check it out right here. It's a little, you know, self-promotion. But
shameless plug-in.
Shameless plug-in. Dude, I'm so happy. Dude, I know it's a Wings video, and I know that it's going to get a lot of traction, but 2.9k views. Dude, big ups. Thank you. But
big ups, Liquid Crush.
Come on, dude. I'm not fucking Richard. Fuck out of here. You're banned. I can't take this shit no more.
Do the cry, man. That's... Alright.
These fucking trolls. But
yeah.
But the reason that but yeah, thank you by the way, everybody. I just got to say that again. But hey man, you gotta say thank you. Dude, I gained fucking 20 some subs from it. You gotta say thank you.
I think a little bit more than that.
No, it was about maybe 30 at this point. I'm not sure, but anyway, though, excuse me. But there was a comment in that video which mostly everyone was saying nice stuff, and I don't really care if you say like mean stuff or whatever, because normally I just laugh it off because I can already immediately tell the type of person I'm pissing off. It's probably some blue-haired Wings supporter, which, by the way, real quick, yo,
I want to hear this.
There, Wings 007, one of the Wings trolls. There's this cuck named Chi God, who was originally a troll, or at least said he was a Wings troll, and he got in contact with Richard. He started playing with Richard, and instead of like team killing him and like, you know, calling him a pedo or whatever, this guy decides, knowing full well of his history, you know what, I like this guy and I'm gonna be friends with him. Like,
the hell?
Exactly. He's a cuck, and then he started beef with Richard, and like he kind of started beef with everybody, but Richard, I don't know the full context of this yet. This literally happened today, but Wings 007 posted this picture, and apparently Richard doxed him. Look at him.
Bruh.
Dude, this is
very trustworthy friend, huh?
But any Wings supporters probably look like this. Just fucking, I would just want to throw that out there just to kind of diss him, because this kid was talking lush in Wings chat, and I don't like people that talk shit on the internet. But anyway, though, so there was this comment, and because in the video, I made a little joke. I was trying to joke around in the video, obviously, because it's Richard and he's a giant meme, but I made this joke about Wings. Remember how I told you that Wings was saying some weird stuff about Tipster Lenny? You know that person?
He kinda sorta. He brought it up before, but I didn't look too much into it, I'll be honest.
But, so, the Tipster person, anyone that doesn't know, just watch my video. Wings was basically saying that a fucking cross-dressing male had nice boobs or whatever, as a married man. As a married man. But
that's just weird anyway.
It wasn't like, it sounds weird, but it was probably, he said in the least weird way possible, to be fair. It's not like he was saying, you know, he really wanted to touch him. He was just making a comment about the tipster person. But it really wasn't a big deal. But I made a joke basically saying I don't know if tipster is a guy or a girl, because that may be a transgender. I just don't know for a fact, you know, and I really don't want to know. Lenny does, though. Lenny's subscribed to Tipster's OnlyFans. He follows Tipster on Patreon. And yeah, he does the whole 9. But
I didn't even know who the hell Tipster was until you told me.
I didn't even either, I'm gonna be honest. I thought Tipster may have been an actual girl. But yeah, it's a tranny, which kind of scares me now that I thought that. But or just a fucking dude that cross dresses. But anyway, though, fuck. Well, yeah. So there was a guy in my comment section, which I don't care if you criticize me again. If you say criticism and, you know, just say whatever you want. I don't ban people because they don't donate to me or whatever. I'm not like subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out like Wings of Redemption. Besides the end of every single video I do. But
yeah, but here's the difference. You say it as a joke.
Yes, obviously. But this dude basically, I couldn't, to be fair, I couldn't understand him because he kind of, you know, it looked like he was typing with his butt cheeks, and because his English was just as bad as Cogsby's on Discord. But he mentioned the word he mentioned the word saying like how he thinks it's funny. He's not surprised I have less than 300 subs, or you know, whatever, and he was saying that my video was low-key transphobic, which at least you said low-key, okay? Thank you. It's not regular transphobic this, transphobic that, transphobic in the air, and whatever the fuck, you know?
Krush is racist to a point. Krush is transphobic to a point.
I'm not just transphobic, I'm racist, because I hate everyone. But
is it really racist if you hate everyone?
you're racist against humans.
Wouldn't that be more speciesist, wouldn't it?
Oh, fucking who cares? It's the same thing, Lenny. Everything's transphobic like that person said, apparently. But
fine. I'll give in this time.
But anyway, though, I basically responded saying, I don't understand. Can you specify or something like that? It sounded like a regular customer support rep. But that got me thinking, though. What, like, transphobic is being thrown around so much, dude. And we've talked about this kind of a little bit, but we've talked about why the word racist can, you know, is thrown around so loosely, especially with these liberals. But transphobic, I don't know if you realize this, I do, but transphobic is being spread more and more than the flu these days, Lenny. Wouldn't you agree, by the news media?
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that. It's like, I may not be all the time in the news, but I hear it all the time.
Yeah. But and listen, here's why some people say call other people transphobic, because I don't know if you heard of this recently, Lenny. This is dude, this is just getting crazy at this point. We have our first transgender cheerleader. Everyone, a round of applause. Yep. It's history and human making, I guess. It's okay. Fucking, this is one's going for the history books, boys.
Oh my, here's the thing. I actually, before you said that, I read about that on, I think it was Reddit. But you know what really pisses me off about that thing?
What, the thing that looks like Tracy Morgan in The Longest Yard?
No, the thing that looks more like a milk dud with a bra on.
Yeah, it looks like Clash.
Yeah, it looks like Clash, but as a dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Looks like a cross-dressing Clash, but
it's like black tipster.
All right, before this turns into a roast session, I should probably finish my saying.
Yeah, but
the biggest problem I have with that thing, I'm saying thing just to piss off people, by the way, but my biggest problem with it is how that thing said. It's like, oh my god. What are you laughing
at? I just love it because the way you're saying that thing, you're so repulsed, which I completely understand, but you're making it look like you're talking about like a gorilla at the zoo or Bigfoot that you found in the forest one day. That thing.
Well, I mean, it's black, so it kind of looks like Bigfoot.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
Thought you were gonna.
No, I'm a scientific man after these last few discussions, Lenny. I understand science.
Yeah.
And why you would assume such a thing. But anyway, go on before we get more canceled.
True. That thing said that coming out as trans and becoming a cheerleader was like as I don't remember the word it used. It was as accomplishing as becoming a doctor.
Oh yeah, and no, they did say that. I can vouch. They did say that. I remember.
That you mean it, not they. When it comes down to that, it's like me. You already know I'm studying to become a doctor.
Yes.
And just hearing someone go, "Oh, it's as accomplishing as." It's like becoming trans and then becoming a cheerleader and shaking your ass in front of a crowd is as accomplishing as being a doctor. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking?
I can tell. Like, I can just hear your anger because you never talk like that. You never say it like, "What the hell are you thinking?"
It's like, "What the hell are you thinking?" It's like all this thing did was go in front of a crowd and shake its ass wearing a bra, have no tits, and probably has a cock sticking out of its dress. And
at least put a pizza box there.
Not even a pizza box. You know what? Just get it off of the stage.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm more down for option like, number 2, but yeah.
It's like you do this, but then it's like the actual doctors that spent 8 to 10 plus years going to school, waking up early, working 16, 18-hour days in the hospitals just to get to where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're comparing that to someone that just took an estrogen pill, put on a dress, and danced in front of a crowd. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't accomplish anything. That's like Leah Thompson saying that it is a 5-star Olympian just because
my god, yeah, they're Michael
trans.
Phelps. They're the new Michael Phelps or whatever.
Yeah, just because it went trans and then said, oh yeah, now I'm a star Olympian, respect me as one. No. You only went trans so you can have an upper advantage.
I don't know what's a more disappointing championship, the Leah Thomas situation or the Darkside Phil Evo 2004 issue, which you don't know what that is, Lenny, but that's basically where Darkside Phil won a Street Fighter or a fake Street Fighter competition by being in 4th place. He was celebrating being in 4th place. So yeah, I think the Leah Thompson thing is worse though, but Darkside Phil is a close second for anyone that's watching and hates Filbert too.
Actually, I think that's the first ever time I've talked. I don't even think Krush. Actually, now that I think about it, Krush, you've heard me actually mad before.
Yes.
But it's like, I don't think I've ever talked like this on podcast before. But it's like, no, when people compare something that actually takes hard work and effort and to something that takes absolutely zero effort, I just find it just enrages me.
No, I get you, and I mean, I'm not studying to be a doctor, but I know like it takes a lot of work, obviously. And I mean, the way I see it, it's easier for me to brush it off, obviously, because I'm not a doctor, but also because I know how stupid of a comment it is, and I know it's just like, and people say stupid things on the internet all the time, so I'm just desensitized to everything. Even if you say, you know, it's easy, it's, you know, doing what it does, as you say, for lack of, I don't know its pronouns, so I'm calling it, so that, number one, we're being racist and discriminative people, but also because, I mean, it probably wants to be called an it. The only person I feel bad for at this point is Pennywise the Clown. Pennywise is going to be running away from it. But, anyway, though. But,
oh, that's beautiful.
But anyway, though, if someone were to say, like, being transgender is as big of an achievement as, like, getting a good job that you worked hard for, then, I mean, yeah, I would be mad, but would I really care that much? Not really, because I know that everyone thinks that that person's pathetic anyway, because you're so pussy you switched up your gender, okay? So, why are you a winner, okay? Right? Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, no, you're not winning at anything by doing that.
Yeah, you're winning at being a joke, like being laughed at and being called stupid, but that's really it.
That's like me running a marathon with paraplegic people and then congratulating myself for winning.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like participating in a marathon but using a car when no one else gets a car. So.
Yeah, or riding a bike at a skateboarding competition.
Or me beating John's ass at Mario Party.
Yeah, that takes skill, let's be honest.
It's John. John, there's literally a setting on Mario Party. It's called like the disability setting or whatever, and you can give someone like 3 extra stars at the very start. And George, at this point, if you're watching this, like, yo, 1v1 me again in Mario Party. Quit ducking the fade. I'll give you the disability stars.
It's like, here's my view. When it comes down to trans people, I don't really care. But as long as if you start doing stupid shit like that, though, that's where I get really mad.
Mm-hmm. But you wonder what gets me mad, though, is that this freaking person is on TV in general. Because what was do you know what the cheerleader is? Do you know what the the cheerleader like what organization they're part of? Are they with the NFL or what? Do you know?
It depends on what type they are.
What do you mean what type they are?
They play, I'm guessing it plays at football games, right?
I don't know where they play. That's the thing. I don't
Hold
know
on.
what
Let me
cheerleader there are. Wait,
click
no.
on
Wait,
click
no.
on the
It's
NFL
it is
cheerleader.
NFL.
NFL,
It
yeah.
is NFL. Dude.
Then more than likely it works for the team.
Dude, again, wait, hold on. Let me show you something. Hold on. Tracy Morgan, the longest. Look, dude, hold on. Let me compare this real quick. I gotta show you this. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no.
Dude, where's Tracy? This is Tracy Morgan. He's a comedian, and he dressed up as this prison bitch for the longest yard. It was part of the role that he was playing. It just meant to be a funny role. Or here it is. Here it is too. Here's this is what he looks like normally. Tracy Moore.
That is literally that thing.
I keep fucking up my thing. This is Tracy Morgan though. He's a funny dude. He's really funny. And this is his character. Dude, look at there's literally no difference. Oh my lord.
No, there isn't.
The only difference
and they're both black,
this thing
too.
is well, that's part of the no difference. But this thing is wearing lipstick though, and he's not even wearing lipstick in here. And also, at least he covers his head up. We gotta see that fucking reflection. My eyes! My eyes! But, yeah, no, this, dude, that's bad, though. This is gonna be another Bud Light incident, Lenny. That's what this is.
Oh, it's more than likely gonna be another Bud Light incident.
Yeah. Dude, but
because once again, because once again, the most people that view football, and again, I have no statistics to back this up, so I'm probably 100% wrong, but I'm pretty certain most people that watch football are conservative people that don't even support transgenderism.
Dude, there's a reason. If we had all these woke people, where's Colin Kaepernick? Why is he not back? Colin Kaepernick sucks. No, because I mean, he sucks. As a football player, yes, that's probably mainly why he's not here. But dude, he's also super, like, he came out with the BLM shit, Lenny. I'm not sure if you remember, but he's that dude that took the knee the first time before Derek Chauvin followed in his footsteps and took a knee, and people still weren't happy, okay? But
that's beautiful.
But but anyway, though, but no, big reason though is people don't like him. He's not a good player. He's political, and people don't want politics in the NFL. We want football, and I'm not a sports fan by any means. Okay, I'm not a sports fan. Besides maybe watching like the Olympics a little bit. But I'm not like a Ravens fan really or anything. Or NFL. That's John's job, who's not here. I'm sure, dude. John would be. I kind of wish John was here for this subject, but
oh, he would be all over it.
Yeah, no, he would. I mean, we would also start roasting Lamar G the third, so he would probably start rage quitting as well. But dude, no, people are gonna. I have no statistics to back me up as well, but I do believe that most people who watch football are definitely conservatives, and they're just wanting to watch the game. You know, that's all. And they don't like, it's fine if you see cheerleaders on TV. That's what they're used for. They're used to prep, you know, or prep everyone up, you know, to do good. But if you see that thing, how are people supposed to play when they're busy looking at it like it's an accident on the other side of the road, and they're like, what the hell is that thing? And then they run into someone. No, but they run into somebody just like as if you're driving. But no, like, all right, I'm done being I'm done joking around though for a second. But I mean, seriously though, people show their kids. I mean, John, for instance, he's been watching football since he was a little kid. And dude, if we start having transgenders on TV, like the NFL, because that's a whole nother level. I can't really think of any mainstream transgender commercials or shows or anything that's actually available on TV. Can you? That's like famous, Lenny?
To be honest, no.
Yeah, I can't really think. But dude, obviously the NFL, that's a pretty big leap, you know?
Yeah.
That's
putting it nicely.
That's like going from size 1 shoes to Shaquille O'Neal level shit, okay? That's what I'm talking about. But
honestly, I would even say that's a nice way of putting it.
it is or isn't?
Is.
Yeah, it's huge. But dude, like, people already don't like Bud Light, and that's a beer. That's a specific beer, obviously, and you know,
Yes, I
most
know
kids,
it's beer.
Well, obviously, I know you know it's a beer, but I'm just, throwing it out to anyone that doesn't drink or know shit about it. John probably thinks it was like Sprite or whatever.
I know. I'm just giving you shit because you already know I'm a beer drinker.
Or at this point, Bud Light is the love potion from Harry Potter, except instead of making you fall in love with somebody you like, it turns you gay.
Ugh.
Lenny drank 5.
No.
But anyway, though, I mean, Bud Light, though, kids, obviously, and teenagers can't buy it regularly, or should buy it regularly. And it's just most of the adults out there that drink Bud Light, I mean, they're not for that gay shit. They're boycotting it. That's why it's down the toilet right now. So,
oh yeah, no, their stocks went completely down.
Oh yeah, dude, they're tiny at this point, but maybe not tiny, but they're like 50% down or whatever.
Oh, they're getting there. God
and then
damn the phone call.
And then they doubled down, and that was just fucking funny because now after they doubled down, they didn't have support from the LGBTQ or the normal people. But shit, what was I gonna say? No
clue.
With with the NFL though, dude, can you imagine the outrage though that's gonna spawn? If people stop watching, what if there's football players that don't fuck with that shit? They want, the transgender off the field. They're like, either you're a real man or a real girl, so get out, or something like that. Like Benson, you're fired, or something like that.
Because here's my view on that as well. It's like, football players, they make enough money a year to sustain themselves for a lifetime.
Exactly.
Like, with a comfortable living. So who's to say that if, let's say, I shouldn't say conservative, but let's say a football player doesn't put up with that shit, he could easily take a year's salary and just leave.
Not quite, because they signed contracts for multiple years. So it may be a lot. Like Lamar G the third, he gets like 250 million or something, but that's for like 5 years or 10 years. That's not for 1 year. So if you want to void the contract, then you'll probably only get a fraction. But you'll still probably get a decent amount that'll last. So I don't know, but I'm just saying it's not quite that clear. But I do get what you're saying though. They wouldn't want to compete in the NFL, and I'm pretty sure at this point there may be some alternatives to the NFL that are starting to rise up. I know that's what is going on with wrestling, so why not the NFL,
Yeah.
I would need John, though. We really would need John, though, for this, because I don't actually know if that last part's true. I just know that I've heard, like, rumors that there might be another NFL competitive brand or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of hard without our resident sports guy.
But dude, but just to clear it up though, people aren't going to want their kids watching football if they're going to see, or at least they wouldn't want, I mean, I don't know, because football is a huge thing, obviously. People are going to watch probably almost no matter what. So there'll probably still be a lot of people that watch football, but they're going to do their best, try just not to show the transgender on the TV, So... Or they might just start showing their kids the highlights or whatever, but it's going to ruin football, though, especially if they get more transgenders, because people just don't want that shit. People just want everyone to be normal. We don't want, our kids looking at transgenders. It's not something that appeals to us,
Yeah, no. Is there a group that likes it, Ayla, but not, normal people?
I mean, listen, I just don't... Here's my thing. If you're transgender and you don't do anything to me, I'm fine with you. I mean, I may, not agree with you, and if you look ugly, I might say you look ugly, but if you're not messing with me, I won't mess with you back, though. But
Yeah.
if I start seeing, I hate this woke stuff though, because the kids should not be involved. Nobody wants their kid to be a transgender because number one, the 40% suicide rate, and number two, it's just disgusting in my opinion. Now again, if you're a consenting adult, do whatever, but that's just my opinion. Anyone that encourages you to be trans if you're like I said, if you're an adult and that's what you want to do, I still think, you need help, but you can do that if you'd like. That's up to you. But if you're a kid, there's reasons why we have laws protecting children, because they can't make their own damn decisions, as Wings of Redemption would say.
Yeah,
except he said in a little bit different way, but yeah,
Yeah, because I'll be honest, when I was a kid, hell, here's the thing with kids. They don't have that high functioning, I shouldn't say high functioning, but they don't have that psychological they don't have that development in their brain where they can make critical decisions for themselves yet.
Exactly. That's where the suicide rate comes in, bruh. Like,
yeah, because a lot of them, they'll like do this to their body really young, but then all of a sudden they realize when I'm gonna give a random age, like 20 or 30, they realize that this isn't what they wanted, and there's really no way to go back.
That's literally a lot of children out there, and Caitlyn Jenner is somebody that regrets it too. There's people out there that regret it and they hate it and it ruined their life, because you can't undo that. And a lot of, especially nowadays, it's so crazy because kids say stupid stuff. Like, some kids may say that they're actually girls or they want to be a girl or whatever, but that usually goes away pretty quick. But nowadays there's been cases where they've taken these children and they started giving like this girl or dude or whatever hormone blockers and stuff like that, and just all this weird stuff that you don't do to like 6-year-olds, and it just is disgusting to me. And I feel like if kids see this and they think it's normal, then they'll want to do that, and until they realize it's too late, or they'll get mental illnesses. What do you think, Lenny?
Yeah, I think this even happened. There was a study on this, but I might be wrong, so do be careful. So like, take with grain of salt. But what happened was, at one point they took, I think it was like 6 men who had gender dysphoria, and they pretty much monitored them, but they didn't let them go trans. Or, you get what I mean? They didn't let them go trans. And they monitored them for, it was like 10, 20 years, something like that. And out of all of the 6, in the end, only about 1 or 2 still had gender dysphoria at the time they were 20.
Yeah, dude. Again, it's something that, listen, again, if you're an adult and you want to do it, you're 18, then,
it's your fault.
Understand that whatever happens is because of you. But if you were 17 or under, dude, honestly, in my opinion, you shouldn't even be allowed to get this until you're 21, because again, I was a dumbass as an 18-year-old.
I don't even think 21, older, because your brain doesn't fully develop until you're around 25, I think it is, 26.
Well, listen, the reason I say that, I still think that it should be 18 though, because the way I see it is, if you're a legal adult at 18, then you should be allowed to you should have all of your rights and all that by the time you're 18 as well. You can vote, so why not be allowed, those services, That's the way I see it. I don't like it by any means, but you have to be fair though, It's the same way where people always criticize how you have to drink at 21. Because if you're 18, why not be allowed to make adult decisions,
This is kind of a tyrant on that a tiny bit. This is more like an offshoot. This is my view on that. It's, I'm trying to find the word for it. Okay, I found it. Never mind. If you're old enough to go and serve your country and die for your country, I think you're old enough to order a beer.
That's what I'm saying. But listen, the thing is, I also believe you should be allowed to, like, if you really wanted to, get that surgery, okay? Again, I don't like the idea of anybody getting that, okay? But I'm just saying, though, if you choose to do it, you're a legal adult, and that issue, instead, you can always try and get help too, you know, if you think you have a problem in other ways, like therapy. But
Yeah.
if you make that decision, that's on you, though. The surgeons are just doing their job, they're getting paid, and that's what you wanted, you know? So if you regret it in 2 years, or if you regret the next day, then that sucks to suck. But you made that decision. You know?
Yeah. There's... You know... I don't know why. This is another subject that kind of grinds my gear a tiny bit. You know what I mean?
Let's hear it.
Because it's more of just the protection of children. Like, you know how some schools nowadays are like, oh yeah, let's bring in drag queens to teach kids about sex. It's like, they're 5. What the hell?
Yeah, no, we've already talked about this in the past, but I think everyone... Here's my thing is, like, you can't bring security in to protect kids from school shootings, but instead you're gonna bring drag queens in for story time. Dude, you're gonna be thinking the Joker existed in real life after that, number one. Or Miss Doubtfire exists in real life. Probably a mix of both. But dude, you're gonna give kids nightmares, or they're gonna think it's like the chick from the chick in a wedding dress in Insidious movie. That's what they're gonna think. But no, that's like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Because you've seen Insidious. But
oh yeah,
I don't understand that. I think,
but
it's
I know
disgusting.
her more as the Woman in Black.
Oh yeah, that's her name, the Woman in Black.
I'm trying to remember.
But yeah,
the
no,
nursery
I think
it,
that
but it's like you can never escape the Woman in Black or something.
Mm-hmm.
But she ended up being like in the movie. She ended up being like a good thing.
All right, but
sorry that.
No, I don't care.
Sorry for the little side chant. That's just, I don't know why. The Woman in Black. That's a movie that was like one of my first horror movies, so it's kind of like dear to my heart a little bit.
No, that's alright, I understand it. I mean, I kind of brought it up, so it's whatever. But I'm just saying though, like, what's the point? Because when I was in elementary school, we had recess time. We didn't have drag queen story time. If you were to say that 20 years ago, people would look at you funny, being like, "Are you on the bath salts?" or something like that. Or are you sniffing?
Are you?
Are you a drag queen?
No, this is Patrick.
It's the stupidest shit ever.
Sorry, I had to.
But no, I don't like that shit though. I think that now anyone that's gonna criticize us, because people are gonna criticize, well, not us, but like anyone that criticizes you know, not having transgenders on TV though, or anything like that. I mean, I'm fine with having transgenders in like TV shows or whatever. They can be actors or whatever. But again, anything that's like sports or whatever, I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically they should, if you really think about it, Lenny, they have the right to try and, you know, get that job, like whether it's cheerleading or whatever. It's just the NFL that decides if, you know, they should be hired or not. Because technically they're breaking no laws. That's the issue, because you can't like ban transgenders. The only alternative I can think of though to really combat this is if you just have the companies just not wanting, you know how wait, Lenny, this is kind of an off topic, but you know how companies, when they hire people, they obviously want to be careful about who they hire based on not just, you know, how they talk and what, but how they look and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of companies have forgotten about that, because number one, NFL's hiring as cheerleaders, okay? Even though this thing is clearly a dude and it's saying it's not a dude somehow. And I mean,
somehow, some way.
even using my own job, for instance, we had somebody that got hired who looked like Lil Yachty. I don't know if Lenny knows who that is, but Lil Yachty
No,
has
I
like
don't.
red hair, red dreads, and all that. And this guy looked like this guy looked like just a fucking mom that goes to like the salon every week and always gets her hair done or whatever. And like, you know that you know, it's not a hairnet or anything, but you know how if you have that, if you get your hair dried or wherever, you have like something on your head that I guess has it in place. You know what I'm talking about, Lenny?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
So it looks
but,
almost
yeah.
like a hairnet.
Not a hairnet, but
Like,
it's like, yeah.
you mean like the thing moms do with a towel, or?
Kind of, but it's like something specific in barbershops or whatever. It's like, it's almost like just like a hairnet or something. But this dude though that I was working with, he would come in, and his first day there, he was late, and I looked at how he looked. And he wasn't like dressed bad, but like this is a business casual place. He would always wear like just he would wear clothes like Lester would wear in public, like SpongeBob shirts and stuff like that. And this guy, I mean, he looked normal. He didn't really have like, he didn't look like he was a convicted felon or anything like that. But this guy also would come into work 20 minutes late, and he eventually got fired because he wasn't doing his job very well. But the way I see it is, I'm pretty sure that if he's 20 minutes late on his first day, let's assume he was late for the interview, okay? And dude, if I see people that have like different colored hair or whatever, and you know, they give off some weird vibes, which this guy isn't like the best example, I get that, but I'm just saying, if you don't get people that look somewhat normal, then you know, you shouldn't have them. That's why you got fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like hiring my coworker.
This is my view. When you hire someone, it's like you can dress for the job. For example, it's like, let's say you work at a fast food restaurant, you have to wear your uniform, right? But, or if you're a construction worker, you have to wear like a company shirt or a hat, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some jobs that you can wear just normal clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're working at, let's say, an office, specifically in what you do, I'm not gonna say, but I think you should at least dress, you know, like you care.
Dude, that's a whole... You want to know what's crazy as well, that we're having this convo? I didn't even mean to lead it this way, but you know about the White House, what they're doing now, right? Like how... Or not the White House, maybe specifically, but Congress. Apparently now you don't even need to wear a suit or anything in Congress. Everything's like just casual. So we're going to start seeing people wearing like hoodies. Maybe we'll see Mr. White, Walter White himself, walk in with just his whitey tighties on because everyone's old there, and they'll forget to put their shoes on and all that.
No. Yeah, Representative Krush in Congress.
Bro, I know I call myself old, but I'm talking... Mitch McConnell's like 100 years old at this point. He looks like a Thanksgiving turkey. Okay? You can't...
Oh, God.
Dude, him, Nancy Pelosi, they both look like they could be from the movie The Mummy. Especially Nancy Pelosi. Alright? They're all so old that you know one of them's gonna forget. Or one of them's gonna wear like a hoodie or like half of a suit and then their shoes and socks and just forget their pants or whatever. Which happened to Lenny last week, sadly, at the mall.
No, it did not.
Lenny, what were you saying, though?
No, you pretty much covered it.
I thought you were going to say something.
Nope.
But I think it's just dumb. And also...
Maybe, like, rolled my eyes, but that's about it.
But listen, also, we want to look professional to the world. You get power from looking professional just from the looks, you know? And, because then you'll have a good mind as well. Because if you're in that suit, you want to look important and act important. But when people are in their boxers, or me, well, kind of like me during my work last year where everything was off the internet and I got to work from home, Dude, people are just, it's just gonna be embarrassing. Who knows, maybe next week Mitch McConnell is gonna like pull his I show speed while at a news conference or whatever. You never know.
I don't even want to think about that.
I don't either. That kind of gives me, just thinking about it, kind of gives me off impression, like the vibe of when Boogie 2988 almost dropped his pants at the Wings versus Boogie boxing match.
Oh gosh.
Which Lenny got a front row seat for that one.
Yeah, you did too. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm saying you were actually there. Lenny took a flight to England.
I do want to go to the UK, but not for that. No.
Not to see a fat man's pants fall down.
Hell no.
Oh man.
This is more of a question.
Yes.
Would you ever, let's say, in your lifetime, would you ever run for an elected position?
Oh, dude. Let me tell you what's gonna happen if I do that, okay? If I get my name out, okay? Let's say I even get my name out and people are saying my name, okay? They're like, Krush is running for president 2028 or whatever. Well, I can't run in 2028. 2030 something. I don't know, 2039 or whatever. Because then I'll be old enough to run.
Let's just say 2040.
No, because not that late. Well, maybe that late. I don't know. Because you have to be, what, 35 to run for president?
About 35, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, so... dude, the first thing that's going to happen is, unless my YouTube channel gets deleted, then I'm never deleting my YouTube channel, alright? Because I love it. Too many memories. And too much goodness, you know? And everyone loves it. But the first thing that's going to happen is some guy, some internet detective is going to just find my old YouTube channel. And then any political opposition I have, they're going to just start playing clips of me saying, like, just outlandish shit. They're going to get the clip. They're going to get the clip of, well, first of all, if Lenny runs, on and off note, they're going to get the one time I forgot to censor Lenny online.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are indeed. But what they're gonna get from me is when a whole bunch of like black kids start like beating up people, they're gonna have that one clip where I'm just like the fucking circus was in town or something like that, or just a whole bunch of like, you know, all the other stuff I've ever said. They're gonna get that. Or if you go back in real early streams, I think I accidentally dropped not the like a racist slur, but I think I said like
racist.
I think I said like, or whatever once.
You probably did,
but not as much as like John though, or anyone like that, and definitely not Teo. But
Teo has no filter.
There's a reason Teo doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. That YouTube banned it.
I thought it was because of copyright.
No, it was because he got banned for, I don't remember the specific reason. I can look it up. His channel was removed. Multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy against spam. Wait, what? That's why he was banned? I thought it was because of, like, racism or whatever, but because of spam. How did he get banned for misleading? He was playing Minecraft Hypixel. What, did he say he was playing on, like, Mineplex or something? Like, come on, bro. At
Knowing
least get on the
him,
level.
probably.
That's why YouTube banned them, because they were fans of Mineplex or whatever. I was gonna say, though, that, yeah, if I ever run, they're gonna use that against me. And, dude, honestly, if people use, like, our podcast clips or whatever, or just, like, what we're thinking of, because we're pretty much unfiltered for the most part, minus the beeps. I'm just gonna say pretty much like what I'm saying on here. I mostly believe in. I mean, you never know. You might change your mind on a few things over the years. But I don't think 99% of what I'm saying on here, I won't change my mind. You know. And
yeah.
I'll just be like, yeah, that's just what I believe in. If you don't like it, then debate me, and I'll call you stupid when you make yourself look stupid. You know.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
Now I'm gonna be honest. The way I see it, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'll do actually pretty decent because most politicians, I don't know. I feel like they're just all over the place, and that they always have to give these big long speeches and know these very specific things, which in some cases they do, you know.
Well, yeah.
But what I was gonna say though was, I think that you need to tackle the most important things first. Like, you need to you need to make sure that, you know, because they're trying to remove like us from having our own natural resources, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the energy bills and such.
Yeah, the energy bills. I'm gonna basically put the energy bills back where they were before. You say that, and then you say you'll have closed borders and the illegals will start coming in. And basically, you know, just go with what works before and go with what was actually a fundamental way of running a country, you know? If you straight up say that type of stuff and you'd say how you're gonna do it, then that's how you win people over, you know?
Yeah, you have to give them something to get behind.
It can't sound like that copy-paste corporate stuff like, we understand your need for concern, but you'll have to wait for the next president to be elected before that happens. And then the next president, aka you, get elected, then you're like, oh, well, you didn't see our fine print saying I'm full of shit or whatever, you know? And yeah, that's just how it works. You have to just do that type of thing. And be honest, too. That's really it.
You know, I have thought about it, but I kind of want to focus on just getting in my career. But I have definitely, like, thought of running. But I don't want to do anything, like, big. If I did end up doing something like that, it would probably be, like, a representative.
I mean, me personally, I know I'm saying all this. I'm just saying what would happen if I ran, but would I actually run? Probably not, because that's too much responsibility. And, yeah, I don't know how good I would actually be on it, because you can know the answers, but you can execute them terribly, you know? So, I don't know if I would be the best in charge, but I will say this, though. I could be better than pretty much all the Democratic candidates out there.
Well, granted, I'm pretty sure a sack of potatoes can do better than Joe Biden.
Oh, yes, for sure. Because a sack of potatoes can actually move when they're dropped or whatever. Or I don't know. They can at least grow, okay? Joe Biden, he doesn't do anything. He just snores all day.
Sleepy Joe.
So wait, what exactly happened? Like, did you just view surgery? Or what happened? Okay, because you're trying to be a doctor, obviously, so they're just showing you how surgeries are done, I guess, right?
Yeah, I had a job shadow at a hospital in my state that allowed me to sit in the OR for a few days. But, do you want me to say the full name of what kind of doctor I want to be?
I mean, that's up to you. I don't care.
I mean, I don't mind, but it is a long name and you may need me to break it down. Actually, I think I've told you it in the past, but I want to be a cardiovascular surgeon.
I know I've heard of it before. I don't know the specifics, but, you know, like, it's like a heart doctor, right?
Cardio, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the nice thing with medical terms and science terms is you could just break down the word and it'll tell you what it is. For example, cardio is heart, vascular is veins, and veins and arteries, blood vessel and bloodways. That's a better way of putting it.
So were they all heart related or no? Were they kind of random?
Nope. I did see a heart surgery. So the first day I was in the neuro operating room. Neuro is obviously nerves and brain.
Yeah.
But before you ask, no, I didn't see brain surgery.
Okay, but
they don't
saw
do
heart
that
surgery.
Yes, I did. The first ones I saw, they were I was never told I couldn't disclose the names of the surgery. And plus, but well,
let me ask you this: did you sign the contract?
Well, of course, but here's the thing.
Right. Well, say what you can say and don't say what you can't say. Then.
I can say the name, the procedure, just not the patient's name, and
Well,
even
yes.
then I don't remember them to begin with.
Well, obviously, don't say specific names, but besides, like, maybe the surgery itself, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
To be more safe, I'm not going to say the name of the hospital either. But
obviously, yeah.
For more context, day 1, I saw a total of 2 surgeries, and they were bilateral lumbar decompressions. They have a more fancy name, but I don't remember the more fancy name.
Okay.
And for context on what that is, I think I told you and John before, and you guys kind of got a little on the grody side of it.
Well, that's me in general with surgery. I don't like surgery, especially shit that's near your heart, ironically. If it's like in your legs or whatever, cavity. Yeah. If it's in your knee or arms or whatever, I'm still not a fan of that. But anywhere else, it's like a big old red nope. Like, I don't want to think about that. So yeah,
and that's fair. You're not alone, believe me. But so with the surgery I saw, they cut like they roll you on your back. Of course, you're asleep. But they cut the incisions in the first one was about 4 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty small for context, because I know you're not great with science measurements.
I know how big centimeters are. Come on.
Hey man, I'm just making sure, okay?
Fuck. What are you trying to say right now?
You're a little retarded, but
keep going with your story.
So with the bilateral decompression, what they do is they create a small incision, they spread the muscle apart to reveal the spine. And for context, between your spine, yeah, you have your vertebrae.
Yeah.
They're the bones that make up. Between each vertebrae, there's like a little plate, and it acts like a joint. It's almost like a joint. And I don't mean a weed joint.
No. Oh, I got excited.
I know. It's all right, Lester.
Oh.
But what happens is sometimes when you get older, that plate can swell or inflame, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, it can push against the bone, which causes severe back pain.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much the procedure, it's a decompression because it relieves the pressure on that disc. What they do is, you have a little here. Do you care if I give a little bit of a visual help here?
Shit. All right. In what way? You better not be performing the surgery on yourself or something, Lenny.
No, I'm not in a sterile environment. I won't do that. So, this is where your disc would be. And then this is your spinal cord. This is what sends the signal throughout your body. So this gets cut, that you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
But what happens is, this sometimes can swell out this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see how this is, for context, this part would be your back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's pointing towards your back. What the decompression surgery does is they'll remove parts of this bone or this bone.
Mm-hmm.
They'll remove a small portion of the bone to help relieve the pressure so it can expand and, not have to shove up against the bone, so it can freely expand a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what a decompression is.
I mean, that's not that bad. That's not that's more bad. That's kind of tame. I'm not really skittish with bones. I don't like if they break, but if you have to saw off a little bit.
This is where Krush is going to get kind of squeamish.
But that's another surgery you saw?
Yes.
Oh, and then, God, I don't like this already. Perfect. I already don't like this. That's where you lose half your lung?
Not half. So this is the thoracic area, right?
Yeah.
For context, your heart is you see this little indent in this lung right here?
Yeah.
Your heart rests about right in this area.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So what happened is the second one I saw, this one was multiple procedures in one. Part of it was a segmentectomy and a lymph node dissection. So part of it, it was about right in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to go to this photo here. What happened was they sit you with your arms up. So this arm was kind of like laying across over here straight, as to not cause pressure and push against. And what they did was they cut open holes right here. They cut open holes here and about right... Well, one was about right here and the other one was about right here. And one hole stuck a camera that went up and looked at... Actually, this is a better image.
Nah, man.
But,
nah.
They looked up here and the camera kind of went up. It was like a snake camera. So it went up into here and you could see it all on the screen. The surgeon made sure I could watch and everything. And you could see his heart. You could see like this bottom portion of the heart right about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see it beating and everything. But then they put up another. Then they put up a set of tools, and what happened was that they were doing a lymph node dissection, meaning they were taking out parts of some lymph nodes from this area.
Yeah.
So about this area, actually, this was the exact lung they operated on, the left one. They took a few lymph nodes from this area, right about here, and tested them, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
And then a segmentectomy, they cut off about this amount of lung and pulled it out.
Dude, oh my god, nah. I just don't know how they can put it back, that's it.
They don't.
Oh, well, that's even better.
They use a specific tool that cuts, and then as it cuts, it stitches. It staples, so the lung is closed.
Okay, well that's at least...
And you can survive without a bit of your lung.
Yeah, but you can't hold your breath as long.
No, but they cut off only... It was about a small part. It was about this big. It was enough to fit in your hand from... It was enough to fit in your hand from like middle of your palm to tip of your middle finger.
Oh, dude, nah. I don't like that. Nope.
And then this is where... And then the last one I saw was a aortic valve replacement and a double cabbage. And this is where Krush is going to get... that's the wrong thing. I don't know why I typed in that.
Why are you looking at men?
This is where Krush is gonna get very, very squeamish.
Well, you told me this story already, right? Oh my god.
I believe I did.
Oh yeah, where they have to like take off some of his like... They have to unplug his heart from the outlet.
Hold on, let me... Actually, perfect. So...
Alright, I'll be a man. I'll watch this. I don't like this.
This is in your body, do be aware.
Well, no shit. It's not like it's a DLC.
Yeah, pay $50 to get your, Yeah, I have to pay $50 to get your friggin...
Yeah, I'm like Mr. Potato Head. I need to buy my parts over here. Buy my eyes, buy my penis, buy my nose.
Okay, so what happened was... Here, I'm gonna go in grave detail just to make Krush go ew.
Just nothing that will get...
Surgery.
Please nothing that I have to censor. Because I'm sure people, if they watch, will find it interesting.
It's fine. But, well, it's not like I'm gonna be saying the N-word.
Yeah, not this time.
But what happens is... It's a pretty decent size incision on the chest. And so... Take your finger, Krush, and go right at the bottom of your neck and a little bit, about an inch or two down. You know where the top of your sternum is? You can feel the bone. It's like that middle bone.
Yeah.
They cut from there all the way down past the nipples to probably right about where your diaphragm is.
Yeah, no, I can picture it.
And then they spread it, pulled the muscle apart, and you know you have your septum bone?
Where?
You know, in your ribs. Hold on. Diagram of the ribs.
I'm not really knowledgeable on the human body. Oh, that's where it is?
This is the sternum about right here.
Okay.
What happens is here, just about this part, underneath this is where your heart is. For context, let me go here. It's about right there. You can see the alignment.
All right.
But they open it and get to this bone, and then they literally have a power drill. It's like almost like a power drill with a sharp blade at the end of it.
Man.
And they have to cut this bone out.
Okay.
They literally cut all along here.
At least it's to the bone. All right.
Yeah, they cut it all along here, and they pull this bone out. It's like this big of area is pulled out to reveal here.
I know they're trying to do a good thing, but that doesn't make me feel great. I don't like hearing that. Man.
No, it's fine. And then they do a bypass, which means they hook a machine up to you called a perfusion machine.
Oh,
and it pretty much
reroutes
all the blood from your heart into the machines, and that machine will pump your blood for you.
Yeah.
And then this is where it gets kind of weird. And this is part where Krush is going to start going, ew. What they do at this point is they flatline you. So they make your heart stop beating.
Yeah. Oh.
And you're still alive because the machine does it. And then they do reflex tests every so often to make sure you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they hook up a bunch of pads to your face that send electrical signals into your face to cause a muscle reaction.
Yeah.
And then this diagram doesn't really show up, but the heart is kind of like an odd shape. They cut open right about here.
Yeah.
They cut open the heart.
And they take it out.
No, they don't take it out. They just open up this area and spread it a tiny bit so they can get inside of it.
Okay.
And then while they're inside of it, you notice these names like vena cava, pulmonary artery, and then you have all these valves.
Yeah.
What happened was this aortic valve right here, this part right here?
Yes.
They took this out. They completely cut it out, and then they put in an artificial one.
Okay. Well, I mean, at least they're... I don't like that, but I mean, if it's for the greater good, then do it. That's all I gotta say.
It is. Sometimes as you age, this valve here, these valves can fail.
Yeah. And
they don't do their job correctly, and that's when you have to get this type of surgery. What they do is they take it out, and then they put in an artificial one, so that pretty much does its job.
Mm-hmm.
But then they also did a double cabbage, which is a coronary artery bypass.
My cabbages. Oh no, I'm sorry. That reminds me of the guy from Avatar.
And give me a second here to get more of a image here. Ah, perfect. So what they do here is they actually they sterilized his legs, and then they made, it was this leg actually, the left leg. They made one cut. They made two cuts, one about right here and one about right here.
Mm-hmm.
And they put in a camera, and you see this really long, thick vein.
Yeah, I do.
They cut it about right here, and they yoinked it out.
Ugh. Yeah, but they use that they use that for something specific though, right? Or no?
Yes, they do. It's called harvesting the vein.
So they use it on the different part of the body.
Correct. Then you take it back here. And sometimes what happens is as you age, these will actually start to clog up with gunk.
Okay, so basically they do it kind of like how all these Instagram thoughts, they always get like their fat and their stomach cut out for their butt, right? Or something like that? No?
No, very different.
Well, I thought
what they get is called a liposfunction. No, very different. So you see these little holes right here on the aorta?
Yeah.
These connect to...
What, are you getting squeamish now?
No, I'm trying to find an image that shows you what I'm talking about. This stuff fascinates me. I don't get squeamish at it. So this is the aorta right here. You see all these veins and artery. Well, the blue are veins, red are arteries that connect to it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is sometimes these arteries, it's more of the veins and arteries, get gunked up over time.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they take that really thick artery or vein from the leg, And let me go back to the image of the heart. Actually, let me scooch it right here. Perfect. And they'll pretty much cut here and attach and put one end of the vein here. And then they'll cut up here and then they'll connect it this way so the blood can bypass there. So as it's coming out, it can bypass all that gunk, and it can, instead of getting clogged here, it can now flow out into that vein and then go here and keep pumping through the body.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Yeah, it bypasses the cloggage. And then here at the vein, it can do the same thing, but with blood going into the heart. Or, yeah, into the heart. And what happens is it will then go out. And they pretty much do the same thing there as it gets clogged up. It's pretty cool stuff, actually. It's pretty cool.
I'm sure, but I just don't care for it, and me or George don't care for it because for very obvious reasons, because we're little girls. But no, yeah, it's still required though. Obviously, it's still something you need.
Yeah, and this is what it is. It's called a CABG, CABG, and for coronary artery bypass graft, or CABG, is a surgical procedure used to treat coronary artery disease, which is narrowing the coronary arteries that supply oxygen and nutrients to the heart muscle. During a healthy artery or vein from the body is connected to the blocked coronary artery, bypassing the blocked portion of the artery. So pretty much, you know, exactly as I described.
Yep.
That's what they do. They just bypass it. And that's what I got to watch.
Which one's the worst one or most life-threatening ones that you saw? I'm just curious.
Heart.
The heart one? Oh, the heart one you just... Okay, gotcha. How was it, though?
Yeah,
was it... Did you learn a lot from there, or what did you think?
Oh, yes. I very much enjoyed my time, and if I can, I will do it again.
I'm just curious. There's one thing I will ask, though, if you can answer it. Well, it's about the case, like, with the person, though. But, like, were any of those because of, like, anything that was... like any kind of altercations or whatever, or was that because of like old age or because of bad decisions like doing drugs or whatever? I'm just curious.
You mean that caused their need for the surgery?
Yeah, you don't need to say the specific thing, but like were any of them from like non-natural causes or anything like that, or were they all natural?
Oh, more than likely a mix of both, actually.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the type of patients that I was dealing with, they were more susceptible to be exposed to chemicals and stuff during their life.
What, like drug heads?
Because it was Say again?
Junkies, you mean?
Sure, let's go with junkies.
Okay, so Lester B.
And, like for the heart, sometimes it's genetics.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's genetics, and then you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I hate to break this to you. It's the truth. A big reason a lot of people need that is they eat high cholesterol foods, and they eat a lot of saturated fats. And by that, I mean, you know that so great DoorDash you guys get all the time?
Hey, I don't get it all the time, okay? I get like twice a month. John gets it like once every 2 months or something like that. It's Lester B who gets it 3 times a day that might want to listen to what you're about to say.
Yeah, what happens is, over time, saturated fats, those are fats that are liquid at room temperature and body temp. Well, they're solids, actually, not liquids, my bad.
Okay.
And in other words, give me a second. This is another thing that requires a diagram. Not a very gruesome one this time, so don't you worry.
You ended your stream anyway.
Well, I have to give me some. Actually, there's no good diagram, so never mind. So saturated fats, they are fats you get from animal products mainly. So cheese, milk, meat, being meat's a big one. And just like how our human fat that we have on our bodies, they're solids. We're not walking water balloons. Same in our blood. When we eat that, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream, and those little chunks of fat move around, and sometimes they'll clog, and over time they'll actually get stuck together, and near the heart they'll pile.
Oh, that's fucking lovely.
Yep. Couldn't reason I don't eat beef and pork and stuff is they're high in saturated fat, but my body also can't digest them.
Yeah, but couldn't you, if you were to exercise like crazy, couldn't that prevent that, or no?
It lowers the risk.
So that's really all you need then, right?
I'll say this, it lowers the risk, but it does not prevent.
Well, obviously, you can't prevent it, but it lowers the risk by a lot, depending on who the person is, too. You can't even deny that.
Of course.
If it were Wings of Redemption, I don't even want to think about Wings of Redemption, okay? You want to think about Wings of Redemption and the likelihood he'll need that?
Hell no.
Exactly. But if it's like us, who we work out, probably not as much as we should, but we still do, we're a lot less likely to get that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then another big risk factor is smoking.
Yeah.
What smoking does is it constricts the blood vessels, meaning, those arteries in the pictures I showed you?
Yeah.
It shrinks them.
Yeah, that's not good. Is that just with is that with any smoke in general, or is that
tobacco.
with tobacco only?
Tobacco. Marijuana, not 100% certain.
Okay. I was gonna ask because the way I see it, I think all smoking is bad for you. Even though I do it sometimes, but I do think that.
Here's the thing with smoking. The thing with smoking, in my eyes, is you're bringing a foreign thing into your lungs. One that's not supposed to be there to begin with.
I get it. I was gonna make a joke, but hey man, whenever anyone's with Lenny, they get foreign stuff too that they didn't initially plan on being in their lungs.
Yeah, curry. But
a lot of fucking gas. Go on, my bad.
This is the thing with marijuana compared to tobacco. Tobacco burns it and kills the cells, turning it black.
Yeah.
And then marijuana, though, I personally don't know if it kills the cells, but the thing compared to marijuana and tobacco is marijuana, it's a lot of this isn't marijuana, this is vaping. Vaping, you're breathing in water vapor.
Dude, vape has tobacco in it too.
It has nicotine, not tobacco.
No, nicotine. Yeah, never mind. Nicotine's not good for you either, though. That's the thing.
No, it's not. And the thing with vaping, though, is your cells, the water vapor, and from that, it will also absorb it. Think of your lungs like they're filled with cotton balls. Cotton balls normally, they're soft, squishy, they're lightweight, and they don't stick together too much, and they can move around freely.
Yeah.
They can expand, contract, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But then let's say you fill a bottle of cotton balls with water vapor. They get hard, heavy, and they stick together.
In that case, then shouldn't... Okay, well, that's with all smoking, then, in that case. That has to be.
Not all, because tobacco, you're not breathing in water vapor. Well, you are a little bit, but not as much as vaping. And then marijuana is carbon monoxide.
Which also isn't good for you.
No, that's poisonous.
Yeah. So I guess all smoking's bad then, if you really think about it.
Yes. That's why even in medical professions, they do not condone smoking of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Including vaping.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that. That's why I don't really smoke anymore. I take edibles and all that.
Yeah, you eat it.
Yeah, like I did 3 hours ago before this podcast.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it because it's your choice, but...
Well, no, I don't... I don't think there's a problem with people doing. Here's my thing, all right, and this kind of stands with like the transgenderism thing that we're talking about with drugs as a whole. Is there, if the drug like weed, for instance, which weed is probably the last drug that I think is legal, that should be legal, I guess. But there's still stuff out there that even like legal stuff like smoking cigarettes, for example. We mentioned that already. Just because that's legal, and you know, if you're a legal adult buying it, it doesn't mean it's a good thing that you should have, you know. So
yeah, no, same with alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. What I was gonna say though was, some people may argue and say, you know, why can't like stuff like meth or heroin be legal or whatever, you know? Because it's consenting adults. The government shouldn't get involved this much into it, you know? But the way I see it is, I mean, number one, those can actually kill you. Weed is, there's stuff legal that, in my opinion, shouldn't be legal, like cigarettes. I don't know about you, but I kind of think those should be illegal.
I do, but the problem is a large portion of the U.S.'s income comes from tobacco taxes and tariff.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Well, not tariff, but tax.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say we could just have chewing tobacco, but then I remember what happens
That's not much better.
Yeah, I remembered what happens when you do that, but... I mean,
kind of not.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like how... But with, like, meth, for instance, I mean, you know the effects of meth, right, Lenny? Where you look, like, way older than you are, and you just look like the Wicked Witch of the West from Baltimore City.
I know. It screws with your skin.
Mm-hmm.
It also smells horrible.
Yeah. There's a reason that parents don't want their kids being around junkies for obvious reasons, just like they don't want them being around transgenders, because they're worried that their kid may end up like them if exposed to like drugs.
Here's the thing with kids, and this is my view with kids. They are mockingbirds. They will mimic their environment to the T. If they're around drug users, they will start doing drugs. If they're around alcoholics, they will become alcoholics.
Yeah, and I know I've been in that stage many times as a kid. You
Alcoholism?
No, not like that.
I was about to say, that was my family well, not my family, but...
I was an alcoholic 4-year-old.
So...
I saw my dad drinking beer, so I chugged the whole 6-pack.
Oh, God. So this is actually this is less of a science thing, but more of a personal story for me. On my mom's side of the family, we have a lot of alcoholics. And that's why it's like me and Krush, we drink, but I don't like doing it too much. Like for videos, every so often I'll take a drink or two, but the one time we did that 6-hour live stream, would I do it again? Maybe. To that severity, no.
No, I understand that.
Because I'll be honest, I drank way too much that night.
Well, Lenny, let me tell you this, alright? That's what a lot of people say every night, or not every night, but every time they drink, and then when they do it, and even if they're like, never again, it happened again!
I drank a liter of vodka that night.
Well, you better be careful, because it may happen again if you drink. But that's part of the consequences to drinking, okay?
That's why if we do another drinking video, I swear, I'm just using beer.
Fine, do whatever you want, I don't care. But, I mean, my whole point stands, though, I mean, to what we were just talking about a while ago, though, because, you don't want... I mean, there's also a reason why, it will also make, even though these, I mean, I don't know, I feel like the anti-drug program in school does a really good job of this, but the schools out there, they show what happens once you do drugs to discourage kids from doing drugs. But, you know, if you have all these meth heads walking around in the streets and they're like, yeah, man, my life's so great with meth, it's the best thing ever, or whatever, then...
Hey, kids, have you ever learned the wonders of meth? I can see pretty rainbows even on a rainy day.
You kids want to see rainbows like me? Try this.
Hey, you guys ever wanted to talk to a plastic cup?
But anyway, though, but yeah, no, I mean
that's a personal experience for me.
Oh yeah, no, I get it, but anyway, though, yeah, no, I mean nobody wants to live in the hood either, you know, because there's a bunch of junkies in the hood too and all that. But same thing. I mean, it's same thing. You just want what's best for your kids. You don't want them to become it. If they do end up becoming it, you know, it is what it is. But you can at least say that, you know, you did your part to trying not to do it. So, and trying not to, you know, convert them to that life. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And this is one thing that me and one of my cousin's friends argued about at one point, and I kind of want to hear your... I do, actually, kind of. I do. I really want to hear the... Sorry, I'm trying to think here. I really want to hear your opinion on this. Do you believe weed is addictive?
I think that it can be, yes, because the way I see it, alcohol is technically not an addictive substance.
No, it is.
No. Hear me out. Listen. It's not addictive like meth is or heroin is, okay? Because if you just take it here and there, it's whatever. But the way I see it, if you just like alcohol with weed, is if you start doing it over and over again, okay, and then you feel like you're not addicted to it, like your body won't react the same way as like meth would, because I mean we both know that meth, you pretty much get addicted right off the rip, you know, and if you don't have it, you go through withdrawals. We all know what withdrawals is, but with weed and alcohol,
heroin is more accurate to that.
Well, yes, but I can picture most hard drugs like meth or lean or whatever will, you know, give you a similar result. But the way I see it is you won't get a withdrawal from this addiction, but you'll still have the mental craving though for it, you know? So
yeah,
I do think it is addictive. And real quick, just I'll let you say whatever in a second, but I mean, I'm on like edibles right now, but like I took a nice 3-month break. Which I'm not, the way you start these conversations normally is like, I've been sober for a year, but me, I'm already going into this high as fuck. But like the way I see it though is, like I do, you know, take these, but I try and have like a break though in between them, because I don't want to always be in that mood or whatever. But to a certain point, if you take it a certain amount of times, at that point, you may feel like Lester, for instance. His whole thing, like his whole character or person, as who he is, you know, is with weed as well. Like that's a big part of his life, and there's a reason why he always goes out and gets high. Because at that point, it's just another routine. He thinks he needs it, and he's afraid of, you know, going back to being sober for a while. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You kind of get what I'm saying? I mean, it's. Not everyone would understand, and I barely understand, but I do understand from experience as well. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, the big thing with...
Basically, I'm saying it all depends on the person and self-control. But go on.
Well, there's two forms of addiction. And the thing with addiction is it always starts in one place, and that is to get away from something, or... you know, you have a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like most people, it's to cope. Some people, it's to get away from the life they're living. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that, obviously.
Yeah, but you have two forms of addiction. You have physical and mental.
Mm-hmm.
Or emotional, or in other words, you mainly hear it as physical and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But mental is the more accepted way of saying it.
Yes.
But what happens is when it comes down to things like heroin, and I want to say meth, but I'm not 100% certain on it, so I'm going to hold that back, and alcohol. The thing with those is there's both a physical and, well, with heroin and alcohol in specific, there's both physical and mental addiction, because the thing with those is those are depressants.
Mm-hmm.
Those are depressants, so they slow your body. And when you're taking so much all the time, your body gets used to being slow. It becomes dependent on it, and that's why if you make a heroin addict go cold turkey, they can die. They actually will die.
Yeah,
they will die. And then same with alcohol. A severe alcoholic, if they go cold turkey, they'll more than likely die.
Yeah, I mean my coworker, he's an alcoholic as well. So, I mean, I don't know at this point if he can even stop as well.
Even there's ways of getting help. Yeah.
Well, I get that. I'm saying by yourself though, like just stopping out of nowhere. Like let's say that his parents, they're like, "You've been a bad boy, Alex. I'm taking your beer away." They're like that,
Yeah, they will more than likely kill him if they do that. The thing with and then mental addiction is like things such as weed. Give me a second, I have to burp. But for example, Lester B, if he stopped smoking and stopped doing weed, period, would he die from it? Like physically? No. Because weed's a hallucinogen. It's not a depressant or a stimulant. It's a hallucinogen. And I'm pretty sure you know that from experience.
It's not really a hallucin, or it depends on how much you take. Well, listen, it depends on how much you take, because right now for the one edible I took, it's not hallucination. It's everything. If anything, it's kind of like how what was the term you used for slowing down? What'd you say?
Depressant.
It's kind of like a depressant in my eyes as well.
It might be, but
similar usage as alcohol.
Give me a second. I'm gonna double check here just to make sure I'm not spewing bullshit here.
But I think Lester personally, I mean, you also have to understand with marijuana, you can ingest it. It's not. I mean, with other drugs, you can also like take it in different ways as well. Like meth, you can snort it or smoke it, but with weed it also depends.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep calling marijuana a hallucinogen, but because it classifies as all three technically. Because yes, it can slow your body down, but it can also cause you to be energetic.
Yeah, but it's weird though, because number one, it all depends on the person, and number two, you can't actually die from it. I mean, you could.
You can. It's just almost damn near impossible to get to it.
Well, yeah, but I don't know a single person that's had a weed overdose or anything. Or the only way you
can overdose on water.
Well, yes, but dude, that's probably easier. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest.
It is.
But like, the only way you could die is if you eat too many edibles, and then you'll die from eating too much food or whatever. But or like drinking weed water or whatever, like you said, or it's some other way, it's the delivery method that would kill you though. Like for smoking, you can't breathe, like George Floyd, and
yeah, you choke.
Yeah, but it's not like the actual chemicals itself are gonna do it. It's just the delivery method. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the point I was saying here with Lester was, if he stopped it, he wouldn't die. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't die, yes.
Well, I'm gonna say this: his body itself wouldn't shut down. I'm gonna word it like that, because the thing with it is, you can correct me here, but he's definitely mentally addicted to it, as he needs it to cope with the world.
No, he's 100% addicted. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he uses it to cope with the world, so he's more it's still addiction. And the reason I say his body won't shut down because he stopped doing it is, this is where it's going to get slightly dark. If he suddenly went cold turkey, there's a chance he will kill himself.
So you're talking about like mentally, because he'll feel like he needs it that bad.
Correct. Not that he needs it that bad, but suddenly, and he doesn't have his coping mechanism. He's stuck to face the problems of the world without his friend that helped. I'm not gonna say friend. Without this chemical or drug, whatever you want to call it, that helped him cope with it. So it's like, imagine you're a kid, right? Let's say you're a 5-year-old kid. You're afraid of the dark.
Hold on
but
a second. Wait. Hold. I have to cut you off real quick and just say something. There's another thing you're not thinking about though as well with this is the reaction that it gives as well, because you're under the impression right now, I think, that you'll get like kind of like how I am right now. You'll be relaxed. You'll be, you know, ready for anything. That's not the case a lot of the times, because when you're on the drug, you can get paranoid, and I've gotten paranoid before, especially over stupid things. And Lester gets paranoid way easier than me. Okay, Lester's like, I don't know. Lester's like an elephant when it sees a mouse or whatever, or you know, when he saw Lester at the gas station. It's kind of like that type of reaction, you know, when he's on it. And when he gets even more anxiety from it. A lot of the times. That's my opinion.
Yeah. The only thing is, a lot of people, they kind of become dependent on that feeling.
So they want to be wrong. They want to be scared, like anxious all the time. I know on some
there's
drugs
side effects
you are,
to it.
but
think of it this way: alcoholics. My uncle, he was an alcoholic, and he drank because it helped him with his pain, but it made him drunk.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
You see what I mean here?
Well, yeah, I get that, but that's, I mean, you can still die though, regardless. You can, if you drink too much alcohol, there's a very clear effect that it does stuff to your liver, obviously. And, you know, there's medical issues that go with drinking, obviously.
A lot more than you may think.
But the problem is, you just don't, that's not how weed works. You don't get the same, you know, physical issues that you would, versus if you were an alcoholic. Do you know?
I know, but this is what I'm saying is, let's say he's taking it to cope with X.
Yes.
But he gets paranoid. It's like a side effect from taking a pill. It's like let's say you're taking a pill for I'm just random disease, diabetes. You're taking a pill to help you control your diabetes, but it gives you headaches.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking. It's more like a side effect with him. So yes, he's paranoid at everything, but that's a side effect of him, you know, under the effect of it.
Well, yes, that is true, but the way I'm thinking it through is, you're saying how, like, you did use the dark analogy, but, like, it can be true that with drug users is he may kill himself if he can't have it. Well, the way I see it, when you get that anxiety attack or whatever, which has happened to me, by the way, before over it,
like when you're on it, or when you don't have it?
When I was on it.
Oh, okay.
Hard on it, all right? But the way I see it is, if you already have an anxiety feeling and you feel so terrible or whatever, or you feel trapped without it, you're probably gonna be in, at the very most, that same mood if you're not on it. That's the way I see it. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, this is a story from one person I went to high school with, and she used to do, she didn't smoke as much as Lester, but she definitely smoked more than, let's say, you, if that makes sense, because she was like doing 1 or 2 grams, not grams.
I'm really not a smoker. I mean, I've smoked a lot in my life, but right now I'm not, though. I would not say I am.
I'm trying, well, that's why I said more than you in the past, but I'm trying to put an accurate description of how much. According to her, she smoked it like a chimney every day of high school.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But then after she graduated, she thought to herself, it was more like she kind of wanted to stop it because she was getting like the Lester B smoker cough and everything. So she wanted to stop smoking, and after she stopped smoking it, she was getting anxiety attacks way more often for a while. And such. And even she, this is the reason I was bringing this kind of stuff up, was she openly told me, it's just like, if you hear anyone say weed isn't addictive, they're stupid.
Well, it all depends on the person at the end of it, like I keep saying. But and I'm not, again, that's not my point. I'm not saying it's not addictive.
Oh, I know.
But you know, it's mentally addictive though, and I think if
Of
you're
course.
just a strong mental person, or if you're stronger than like I don't know, even if you're calm,
Strong-willed.
even if you have the mental capacity, fuck, how do you say it? I'm stupid. Just say it, Lenny. Mental
The same
compatibility, I think.
capability.
Capability, yeah, there you go. Even if you have that, like you're normal, you should be fine. It's just the people that, like Lester, who are just real fucking stupid.
Yeah, they don't have any. I'm gonna you agree or disagree with me when I say willpower. It's like people with low willpower.
I think it's more the people that aren't motivated and aren't trying to improve and would rather just be stupid.
Yeah, I know that.
Because Lester has potential of being smart. That's the thing with him. It's that everyone around him, me and John for a long time, which is why we're really not friends with him anymore, we have tried to motivate him and push him, because he has parents that are like yours, Lenny, but they don't get on him for being stupid in school and stuff like that. He thinks that, you know, he can just stay the exact same person and not try and grow. And, you know, you're just a baby, basically. A man baby like Wings of Redemption. Those are the people that get affected more than anything.
Yeah. Well, granted, that's... I don't want to say
I'm not trying to throw your friend
but...
under. I'm not trying to say your friend is like that, but I'm just saying...
Oh, no.
You know, I don't know how she is.
Was.
I don't know if she's
wasn't...
crazy or what she's like, but, you know.
Well, let's put it this way. 1 week she's lesbian, the other week she's bi, the next week she's trans, the next week she's back to straight. So take that as you wish.
Okay, well, I think she's got bigger problems than we. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I think... Oh my god. No. Jesus. How do you even... What, do you set a time for when you change your gender? Kind of like how I said make a time for when you jerk off or whatever. Alexa, schedule... set a reminder. I'm lesbian at 7 o'clock today and straight at midnight.
Yeah, it's like cadence.
I don't want to bring cadence into this because I'm, you know, I'm not trying to shit on my supporters and fans or whatever.
Yeah, no, beep that part out, but...
Cadence doesn't care. Cadence has a good sense of humor.
No, but you get what I mean. No disrespect to her. Cadence is cool. Cadence is cool.
No, but I'm talking about, I mean, we all know who we're talking about, though.
Of course.
Everyone knows somebody IRL that's done something like that. And everyone knows a Lester as well, who's just a giant man baby that's like that.
Especially nowadays when it comes to like sexuality and gender, you get those people that are gender fluid just so they can come up with an excuse to be dumb.
I mean, I don't know them personally, but there's definitely people like that here. I'm gonna be honest.
Like, this is gonna sound weird, but I still don't understand what gender fluid means.
It just means that you don't know what the hell you are. It means you think you're a fucking human being at one point, then you're a dyke, then you're a fucking acorn, and then that's just what happens. You get reincarnated into something random every 2 seconds.
You know, back in my day, we just called gender fluid cum.
Oh my... That's a pretty good one.
back in my day, it was just called cum.
Yeah, I will never understand. I mean, again, mental ill people, dude. People that needs help or they, you know, got abused or something. I'm not even trying to be a dickhead, but like seriously, they may have gotten abused or, you know, never know what happened. So.
Or their mom was kind of doing drugs when they were pregnant.
Probably that too. So.
That's how Samuel.
Is that? Are you serious? Is that true?
Yeah, that's his full name.
No, no, not that. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, his mom. Yeah, he was a crack baby.
Oh shit. Yeah, no wonder he's fucked
Yeah,
up.
he was born. Yeah, he was when he was born. This is gonna sound weird. The first few years of his life was actually fighting. He spent the first few years of his life in a hospital fighting, and again, brand new baby, like just brought into this world. For a few years, he had to spend the hospital fighting withdrawals.
Dude, that's crazy. That's terrible.
Because he was born. Yeah, he was born addicted to crack. That's why he didn't grow up with his birth parents.
Yeah, no. You do feel bad. He's a terrible person. We're not going to really get into what this dude's done, but he's a terrible human being.
No, it wasn't crack. It was meth. My bad. It was meth.
It's whatever. It's called crank. It's just, that's what you can call it. But I mean, you kind of feel bad for the backstory of a lot of these guys, but it's especially with like a lot of locales, they have like terrible backgrounds. Like Cyrax, for example, he's a dirty piece of shit pedophile online, but he had a terrible upbringing, so you kind of have a little bit of sympathy for the person when you first find out their situation, but once you think of all the terrible stuff that they've done, you kind of just throw that out the window,
Yeah, because there's a difference between, this is my view, if you come from a bad background, you do have a chance, like, in my eyes, you do have a chance to make a name for yourself still. You know what I mean?
Yep. And also, real quick, that's why you don't do drugs near your kids or anything like that, or exploit your kids to drugs, or else you'll end up with a kid that's like Samuel Moore, and you don't want some shit like that.
No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember another thing, but there was, I don't know why, there was so many different, like, I don't know if it's just my state or the community I grew up in, but there was so many people that got addicted to drugs, because there's just a lot of drugs in my city, especially meth.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, there was meth labs in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta keep that away from kids, bro. Just keep that shit away.
Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, I more than agree with that. If you bring drugs near kids, I don't think you deserve to have one or raise one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, there's gonna be some, like, exceptions, and I don't mean exceptions like, hey man, he's like, hey man, he was 16, so I brought him weed, man. I don't mean that exception. I mean exceptions like, there's some people that rely on, opioids.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean I don't think people should rely on opioids at all, but there's some people that have addictive drugs because they have medical conditions as well. For example, ADHD.
Yes. Well, yeah.
For example, ADHD. I think that's an exception because when you're young, I don't think you have the brain power to combat it naturally. You know what I mean? Like, you have ADHD, right?
No, I don't.
No.
I have dyslexia.
Okay, I was thinking. My bad. Sorry.
Not even close. I don't care. Why would I be offended?
Yeah, Krush had severe autism. No.
Yeah, I'm just really retarded. Why do you think I have ADHD? I like how this was like so serious too, and then we just killed it with.
Yeah, I don't care, but I don't care. So this is all our conversations changed my mind.
That's pretty much true. Yeah.
But here's the thing: you have like kids born with ADHD. I think when they're young, they should be given the medication in small doses so they can help to learn to control it. And I know it's literally just legal meth. It's legal meth. So do I believe a kid should be dependent on it for their whole life? No.
Hell no.
Do I believe that maybe in early years could it be helpful? I guess it depends on the case.
Mm-hmm.
In minor cases, no.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a major case of ADHD, though, I would say maybe up until like the age of 8,
Mm-hmm.
they should be allowed to take the pill for it. And then after 8, they should be taken off of it slowly as to not cause withdrawal.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like slowly cut the dosage over time so they can get off it naturally. So maybe until like start reducing their dose at 8, and then by 10 they don't take it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And then by 10, of course they'll still have ADHD, but I think at that point they'll be old enough and their parents should know about it enough to, because more than likely the dad or mom has it.
Mm-hmm.
They could help their child just naturally learn. It's like it may take a long time, but you have to learn to focus on this without taking the drug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's like the only exception I can think of, or, obviously, how do I word this?
Come on, spit it out. Let's hear it.
To be smashed.
Oh my dude. Oh, that's turned dark.
I think that's another exception
really
for drug usage.
Yeah, I agree. We don't really like pedophiles. Let's just say that. I hope Cogby doesn't see this.
He won't watch it anyway.
Unless we like direct him.
His brother
into it,
might.
Well, then Cogsby in this case is gonna destroy another. I can't even say it. No,
His brother doesn't live with him anymore, so.
All right, well, Cogsby's gonna destroy his whole house then. It's gonna be like, I am not crazy, like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Meanwhile, destroying the whole apartment.
He doesn't even live in an apartment now. He lives in an actual house.
All right, well, in the house, then he'll convince everyone again, like an insane ex-girlfriend. I am not crazy, and then start destroying the house.
My name is not Ian Brandon.
This doesn't affect me. This is a waste of your time. Meanwhile, breaking the window in anger.
Like a child throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Actually, that moves on to one more topic, and I swear this is probably going to be the last one.
I don't care how long we go.
But, it's like, speaking of children, I think we've talked about this before, but in the future, let's say you're married, would you want children?
It's a tough question, to be honest with
you. It
you.
is, especially because I would say it's especially harder for us at our age, because even though you may think you're old at 24, you're really not.
Well, compared to some people, you do, because especially for me, a lot of the people I went to high school with, there's a decent amount that have kids now.
Same here.
And
I'm 19.
Do I want some? Probably, actually. I will say probably, because, I mean, number one, I don't want my family name to die, because this relies on me and my brother at this point. And I don't know if my brother wants kids. He probably will, but I don't know that for a fact. So, and being the oldest child as well. I mean, it doesn't matter that I'm the oldest child, but I probably would do, but I'm not gonna rush it. Now, if I do plan on having kids, then there is a time frame you do want them, okay? You don't want them too old. Like 40s, it's not too old, but it's like right around the mark where you got to get serious or don't do it. You know what I mean? If you're like, Al, what's his name? Al Pacino.
I thought you were gonna say it.
Scarface?
I thought you were gonna say El
Presidor. El Presidor. What's the guy's name from Scarface? Hold on.
I don't know.
Wait. Just a second. Let me see. It was Al Pacino. Yeah, Al Pacino. I don't know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not trying to be a dick. But
that's fine.
This guy's like, how old is he? This guy, let me see. He's old though. He's like,
Yeah, he
he's
doesn't look
83,
young.
and he had a kid last year.
Are you kidding me?
No, with like his 29-year-old girlfriend or whatever.
This is my view. This is gonna sound really messed up, but after 45, you should not have kids.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know Chris Chan,
'Cause-
his dad had him when he was like 50 or something like that.
Yeah, this is the reason I say this is because children take a long time to develop, and I mean literally not considered adults until 18. So imagine, let's say you're 50. That means you'll be 68.
Yeah.
That means you'll be retired. You'll be retired by then, and then it's
Well, if you
like
choose.
most. Yeah, and then most. I can't say most, but well, I think you may agree when I say most. Most kids don't really get off their feet until they're maybe in their almost to mid-20s.
Yeah, I would
Like
say
they can't
so.
support themselves until they're about that age. Now imagine this. By that time, you're gonna be in your 70s,
I mean,
and you'll be more of a burden to them than a parent.
yeah, something like that. I mean,
And I know that's really messed up to say, but
it's true though.
you get what
No, it's
standpoint I'm going at.
No, I think that's a good standpoint, to be honest, because I mean that's stuff you got to think about if you have kids, because you also got to think that you can't, like you said, you may be a burden if you're like really old, and like after you take care of your kids or whatever. I mean, if they're like 30 something to 40 or whatever, they can start to help you out and take care of you. But if they just got off their feet, and jumped off, then they can't help you right now. They have to help themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they're in the stage where they're like paying for college in an apartment, there's no way they can.
Exactly. And I mean, for me, my parents they're not like, they're gonna be 60 very soon. And
Yeah, but you're 24.
I'm 24 though, and realistically, I could have moved out a year ago, but I'm just kind of taking my time and saving some money and doing my thing, But I know that I'd be fine, and that's a pretty good age. Now, granted, my younger siblings, they're not in the same situation as me, and they're younger, but I mean, still, by the time they're all set, like my family, they're not even going to be 65, I don't think. That's all I gotta say. So in the next 5 years, everyone should be good. And that's fine in my opinion, but if you're like 80 when that happens, that's not good. That's bad.
Yeah, no. And this is one, like even my parents, they weren't young, but they weren't old when they had me. They were like right at they were like in the golden ages, if that makes sense.
Now listen, let me make it clear. Don't have kids when you're 18. That's the stupidest thing ever. Don't be like Lester and take it off halfway and play basically, lucky ball or whatever it's called, where the ball where you like where you throw it down, or where you look
Roulette.
where you look at like the water
The
and
spinning.
Yeah, the spinning thing.
Roulette.
Yeah, that thing. Don't be like Lester, where he's like, please say she's not pregnant. Please say she's not pregnant. That's what you gotta. That's not a good strategy, okay? That's relying on
Say that and the
force that you don't
girlfriend.
want to compete with.
No, you don't. Especially, this is gonna sound. Oh, I'm gonna sound so bad when I say this.
I'm gonna sound bad when. Yeah, go on.
When you're our ages, from the ages of 18 to, I'm gonna say like 30. I might be wrong on that, but around from like 16 to 30, boys are very fertile.
Let me just say this though: if you do get a chick pregnant, the best thing you can do at that point, if you want to get out of it, besides, or you could start praying to God and pray that she was a whore or something, and that wasn't your kid.
Krush. By the way, I'm not serious with this statement at all.
I was gonna say something bad too, but go on.
When I got a girl pregnant, everything changed. My name, my address, my phone number.
It's better than what I was gonna say. I was gonna say paint the baby black and say it's not yours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an option.
I don't think that's a very good option. I think your option is better, because I think my option involves going to prison.
Probably a little bit more than just prison.
For child abuse or whatever.
Yeah, but I oh my, I'm now that I think about it, there was a few people in my high school that there's like one girl that's slightly older than me. I think she's 20 now, and she's already a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's way too young.
Realistically, I think the best ages to do it is from 25 to 35. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
You can go past 35 and before 25, but like I'm just saying that's the golden time to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I say the golden era, that's you. When I say golden era, I mean about like around 25, 26 to up until your early to mid 30s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, nah, I mean for me personally though, I think if I were to do that, I'm gonna if I want want to be serious, I'm not by the time I turn 25, I'm not gonna be like, all right, oh boy, I'm 25, time to find a bitch to fuck or whatever like that, I'm not gonna be like that. Like you gotta also take your time, and I mean you should like get out there, don't just be a recluse, but don't like try and force it to happen though, and don't be desperate.
Yeah.
Just like come naturally.
Yeah, no, this is what my parents always taught me. And that's when you found the right one, you'll know.
That's why I always criticize. Well, me and John and everyone else. We always make fun of Lester for going to the Rec Room Club. Anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's basically just like a bar, type nightclub type thing. But we always criticize him or not criticize him, but make fun of him because he goes there like twice a week. Okay. And I know the reason he goes there. He doesn't even drink really. He's drank once there, I think, or twice. But he's not really into that. The reason he goes there is because he's trying to find a girl or whatever. That's the reason. Which, let's ignore the fact that Lester has no money. He looks like Bigfoot. He probably stinks like Bigfoot. And he's the size of
Definitely
Bigfoot.
stinks like Bigfoot.
And he
looks like he looks like a dwarf Bigfoot that ate. He looks like the fat orangutan from the memes.
No, he probably doesn't smell like Bigfoot. He probably smells more like Santa Claus when he went down the chimney, because Lester smokes that much. All right, but let's just ignore that, okay? Let's say that Lester looked like Brad Pitt or whatever, okay? Even if you look like Brad Pitt, you shouldn't like go out of your way all the time hard to try and find a chick. Let it happen more naturally. And guess what? You want to know what happens when you also try and do that? It will happen. Well, I'm not going to say it will happen to anyone watching specifically if you do it, because you might get lucky. Or, you may just have that level of riz or whatever. But chances are, I want to say 7 times out of 10, if you start doing that and just go there for that reason, then you're going to end up like Lester right now and still not have no bitch, okay? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, just think you could be spending time with the boys online. Instead, you decide to do fishing and catch nothing. That's it.
He plays Go Fish, but he can't win. And the reason I say don't put no attention to it either is, if you're looking anyway, is otherwise you're going to end up like me, who missed out on a 10 out of 10 French girl.
Dude, everyone's missed out on chicks before, okay? I missed out on a chick that was literally saying I'm hot or whatever and cute.
That's true.
In high school.
I still remember the story. I just like, oh, you're so funny.
Oh yeah, she was saying I'm so funny and all that. And she was a bomb. She was fucking, I would smash her. I'm not even gonna lie, but I was too stupid. And instead I'm just like, oh, thanks. Or something like that.
Hey man, thanks.
You're kind of funny too. You're
got
funny.
A sister
looking.
As well.
Did you hear what I said though? I'm like, you're funny looking or something.
Oh wow.
Just
because
think she was being sarcastic and then roast her for no reason.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the one? Okay, so this happened when I was in high school. There was this girl in my high school named Hannah. She was a bitch.
She sounds like a bitch.
And
yeah,
she was.
Go on. Let me hear this.
No, she was. She was like the most toxic person you'll ever meet. And I don't mean toxic as in like you and I trolling people. I mean toxic as in she can turn a conversation from really positive to really negative just by walking in a room.
Well, that's just fucking lovely.
And I remember I got on her.
Bitch.
I managed to get on her bad side, which wasn't hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, this is my friend. You remember Mace? He's in the server.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can. If you ever talk to him, he can confirm this story. But me and him were sitting in our first period in our sophomore year, and she came in with one of her tails. I'm not gonna say the tail's name because she's like a decent human being. But what happened was Hannah just pretty much walked right up to me and May sitting there, and she started just randomly insulting me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, me being me, I just didn't care. So I was just kind of sitting there, just accepting. I was like, okay, whatever makes you feel better. I'm just like scrolling through my phone or something.
Yeah, no, she sounds like a bitch.
And Mace, he got so fed up with it. He goes, "Hey Hannah, you should be nice to him. He may be your boss one day." And I looked at Mace and go, "What are you talking about? I don't want to be a pimp." I go, "What are you talking about? I don't want to be a pimp." And I remember Mace, he was like, oh. He like had to stop himself from rolling on the floor and laughing. This girl gets so mad, and she like her and her tail pretty much walk into the corner and start deliberating for like 30 minutes. The teacher was in the room and heard everything, and he was literally rolling on the floor and laughing.
I mean, who wouldn't, dude? If I was a teacher, I would give that kid an A+ for the day.
Yeah, that was me. And here's the thing, her only comeback was, "I'm not a prostitute, you are."
Then I'd
she
be
literally
like,
pulled
hell
it. She
yeah.
literally pulled it. Well, you have a sister as well.
I'll be like, cool. So what does that make you?
Cool. Does that make you a cheap whore?
So are you saying you are a prostitute? That's my question.
I will never forget that. That was the funniest moment from my high school. That and the time I had a... It's like I always... You know how in high school I always make myself out to sound like a basket case?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm talking too much about my high school life, just let me know. But I really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is a side of my 3 years that I'm not very open about. I was pretty active, just but only around certain people.
Yeah.
And there was a few teachers that I actually got into fights with.
Yeah, I've heard. You've actually talked about that before on here, Lenny.
Yeah. There was one English teacher, though, that was literally breaking school policy. And I handed in a paper that was like a few minutes late. And she was like, "Sorry, I'm not taking it." Right? Mm-hmm. And I got so fed up because it wasn't a few minutes late. It was like one period late.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked up to her and tried turning. She was like, "Nope, not accepting it. You're late." And she looked at the clock and was like, "Yeah, you're late." And I told her, I was just like, "You know what? I was on a school activity because I was in band."
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I don't care. It was still late." So what I did was I waited until I had her class that day. Yeah. And I went up to her desk and I slammed the paper on her desk and I was like, "I'm going to watch you grade this."
Mm-hmm.
I literally slammed my paper on her desk, threw a pen at her and said, "I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch you grade this paper."
Well, good, because if you're going to be stupid and play stupid games, and that's just what you get. You win stupid prizes.
There was one thing I learned, though, and that was the year after Mace graduated, she got fired.
Well, not surprising.
And sadly, the sex offender teacher's still there.
That's a whole nother story, though.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about that one. That one's like, that's a podcast in its own.
One more thing I thought of that we could do to wrap it up.
Yeah, what's on your mind?
We should do a reaction video.
You ain't gonna hear me complain.
To Mr. Nightmare. To his newest video.
And if it's about spiders, I'm gonna fly to Maryland just to kick you in the balls.
It's not spiders, it's corn mazes.
Oh, yeah, let's do that, but let me go get like a slice of cake
first.
Yeah,
go for it.
You can't watch movies without popcorn. I'm here.
God damn it, we just... Alright, whatever. Here we go.
Either way. Can you pick it up now?
Yeah, you're good.
Alright.
I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit, though. But yeah, let me know if you want to say something and for me to pause it. Argo 95.
Do you really believe these are true, or do you think they're just kind of like creepypasta?
I think most of them are true, but I think some of them. It all depends. If you're from Mr. Nightmare's channel, I think that some of them are. I think a lot of them are true, but there's still a few oddballs that are not true. But if you look on other channels, there was one, I can't remember his name, but there's a few out there that just tell scary stories or whatever. But I'm pretty sure of like the most weird stuff ever, like conspiracy level stuff, like I answered like an email and now the government won't stop following me or something like that, you know, something like that.
Yeah, or it's like it's like I walked into a corn maze and freaking a zombie popped out and ate my ass or some random shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Like outlandish type stuff.
Yeah, but there was one story where I heard some guy picked up a 1 gigabyte hard drive, flash drive.
Oh, I remember that one.
Which gigabyte? I mean, that's like a billion.
1,000 terabytes.
No, that's a billion terabytes. I'm pretty sure.
Holy hell!
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's on a flash drive, which obviously that's not true.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be one fat flash drive.
No, just for perspective, I have a hard drive right next to me that's 5 terabytes. No, 7 terabytes, and it's the size of a mini Xbox. Okay, it's like a little package, like a jewelry box or whatever. Well, like a little, like a necklace box or something like that. But it's pretty big, so you can imagine how big, you know, a 1 billion would be. It's crazy, or maybe it's a million. I don't know, but it's a shit ton. And then basically,
you gotta be like,
you go on.
You gotta be like the friggin' giant from Jack and the Beanstalk for that to be a flash drive.
Yeah, it's a big bitch, to say the least. But basically the guy plugged in his computer and then it started Skynet from Terminator. So yeah, that's super realistic. But and if you don't know what Skynet is, Lenny, it's basically where
I know what Skynet is.
Okay, never mind then. It's where AI takes over the world. But
yeah, I know it. I've seen Terminator.
Okay, I'm just making sure because you were kind of quiet. But yeah, no. From from Nightmare's channel, I believe most of them. But it all depends on the story. So let's listen to it and see what happens.
Agreed.
Rural town in Michigan, but we've always stayed in touch. His family is very country, and I'd go as far as to say they're kind of rednecky. So the move there was no surprise. His family loves me, and I'm always welcome to go visit.
That looked like a penis at first.
We're 19 now. I'm in college. Carter works for his dad. They have a huge property up there. I had visited before. This was not my first time going up there. So it was a weekend in the fall. I was going to stay at Carter's family home up there. His mom and his sister wouldn't be there this weekend. It was just him and his dad.
Turn up a little more.
It's a 4.5-hour drive up there.
If it's too loud on my end, remember, I can just turn it down on Discord, so.
Alright, bet.
Then open fields by them. To get onto their property was a gravel road about 300 feet off the main road. I got there to a warm welcome by both Carter and his dad. They were already sitting in the backyard drinking beers, so after bringing my bag in from the car, I joined them. Carter was telling me about all the trails in the area that we could take my Toyota 4Runner off-roading. I'd never off-roaded before, but I was super down to. Carter's dad grilled us up some burgers first, then he was off to his friend's house. Carter and I got in my car, and he guided me to this nearby trail that he described as perfect for off-roading. It was around 6 o'clock, so we only had a couple hours of light left. We did about an hour of off-roading on various trails not far from Carter's house. When it was starting to get a little darker out, we left the trails and got back on the road because it was even darker when you're in the middle of the woods. As we were just driving around, passing a bunch of farmland, we passed this abandoned church-looking building that had a huge cornfield next to it. Carter said he passes this place all the time, but he never checked it out. So what do? Of course, we both agreed to go back and check it out later, but Carter said we should take the bikes over later. His family has 1 million mountain bikes, fully equipped with lights and everything. We drove back to his house. He grabbed a backpack and threw some tequila and a bottle of Sprite in it, along with some flashlights. We took the 2 best bicycles
Screw
they had.
water. Let's
Each
pack
had night
tequila.
riding lights mounted on the handlebars.
It's gonna be a
He
true
said it would
adventure if
probably
you're
be a
not there
20-minute bike
sober.
ride. Both of us are big fitness guys and have been since high school, so I didn't even mind a long bike ride. When we got to the abandoned building, it was pretty dark out now, hence why we brought flashlights. The grass was very...
Got a question real quick. Would you ever
Hey, go
explore
ahead.
abandoned buildings?
Oh, hell yeah.
Alright, I figured you would, because I would too. So I don't think they're doing anything stupid right now. I think they're doing pretty much anything that young men would do, you know, bring alcohol and just kind of like walk around drunk and have fun, you know?
Yeah, I'd do it sober. I don't know what you're talking about, but this is kind of just this is the big reason for me is like I love ghosts and I love ghost hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore abandoned places to me sounds like a dream come true.
I just like exploring.
You know what I mean?
But yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
overdone,
It's like hell,
too.
I plan on me and my mom already plan on going to a few abandoned asylums on the East Coast eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah, we'll strap
sure.
you in the back seat. We'll put you in the freaking luggage hold on our flight there.
You don't need to be a dick about it.
What? Here, what? You want to see? You want to?
How about you just get a limousine or whatever, and then we'll have enough room for all of us. Because I know Lenny's going to take up 10 seats.
Oh, screw off.
Anyway, let's keep going.
No cars
Yeah,
were
let's go.
coming before entering the property just to be safe. We hid our bikes a little bit into the cornfield just so they wouldn't be seen. There was still just enough light outside to navigate without turning on the flashlights. We didn't want to make it too obvious we were here. We were thinking of getting some cool, artsy shots of each other for our Instagram inside the building, if we could find a way inside.
Oh, I
This
know
was
that building.
Definitely an old church. The
Where's that?
I might be wrong, but those plants are edited in. I'm pretty sure, and that looks exactly
Yeah.
like Yorktown Memorial Hospital.
Mm.
Like, just look up real quick. Sorry to go on a divergent, but just look up the front door of Yorktown Memorial Hospital, and that looks so similar to it.
I want the reviews. Fuck out of here. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. God damn it. Why did it load? A new tab. Yorktown Memorial Hospital. Front, you said?
Just look at images. Yeah, never mind. It looked similar at first. My bad.
Let's see.
You know that place though. That's like
it
one of my.
It doesn't look anything the same.
Yeah, that's my bad. I think I'm thinking of a different place. I'm just being stupid. But no, that hospital's like my dream location to go to. I
Where's it
want to go to
located?
it so bad. Texas.
Hey man, maybe if me and John ever go, we'll drag John too.
The only thing is it's private property and you have to be very careful there because that hospital is only open for like 10 years, but over 200 people died in it.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, I think 2,000. My bad.
Well, number one, we'll sneak in. That's not a problem. And number two, we'll be careful. So no problem.
Sure.
Anyway.
But another thing to be careful is I actually watched a documentary there. Don't go in the basement alone.
Why not?
It's said to be haunted by a demon.
I'll be fine if I go. If the demon
Crush is
starts to
gonna walk
attack
in
me,
there.
I'll start helicoptering, and then he won't like that.
I'm just imagining Crush is gonna be like it's gonna be us playing fast. He's gonna run and go, George Floyd, are you there?
Oh, you already know it. I'm gonna be like Shane, except way more edgy about everything.
shape of the windows.
I really
confirmed
want to
it.
do that for twats
We
though.
went to
Just
look through
Shane
one of
and
the
Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
windows.
You can keep
It was
going.
Way too dark to see inside. I told Carter to hand me a flashlight. The flashlight made all the difference. We could see inside now. We both noticed something strange in the pews. It was what looked like a person's head hunched over sitting down with their back to us. Carter said it looked like a mannequin, especially considering it was completely motionless. We placed a friendly bet.
Who would just
Carter
have a
betting it was
mannequin in
a
there?
mannequin, and me betting it was some drunk homeless man. We went to the front door of the place and saw it was boarded.
Did he say if the church was in the middle of nowhere? He did say it was off a trail, right?
Yeah, he said off a trail with a cornfield next to it.
Dude, why would there... Dude, number one, in the aisle, why would there be a mannequin there, especially if the place is run down? Number two, if you find a homeless dude there, that's equally as bad as finding a rando there. That's not anything better.
Because who's to say that homeless man doesn't have a knife?
Exactly.
It up. Carter shook the door just for the hell of it to see if it would budge, but there was no shot. He implied this meant he won the bet because there was no way for a homeless person to get in there. I said, hold up, let's check the other windows for a closer view. So we walked along the other side of the church to the window we knew had the best angle of whatever we saw in there. But now, when I shined the flashlight through the glass, whatever was in that pew just a couple minutes ago was gone. I told Carter he owes me money because I was right, even though that was also terrifying. He asked, where did they go then? I shined the light in every direction until we both spotted it at the same exact time and jumped. The man standing right to the left of the window on the inside. He was looking at us. He didn't look like no homeless man to me though. We took off running back to the cornfield. We tried to find the bikes in a panic, but we couldn't. It was so dark out now that we were avoiding turning on our flashlights to expose ourselves. We heard a slam from the church building. It sounded like some kind of door. Carter told me to be quiet because he heard sounds in the cornfield, like the crops being brushed through by someone. Then it just stopped and went silent. Dead silent. No breeze at all, so all the crops were just still. We were stationary, ducked down, scared to move. We were in this position for a solid minute before Carter said in a low voice, "Which way did we leave the bikes?" And this was when we heard the crops mere feet away from us being brushed aside as someone was clearly running towards us. I screamed,
"Oh, hell no."
We both beeline through the crops as some of them were smacking me in the face.
That guy's good hearing.
At some point, we cut out into the open, leaving the cornfield, running back to the road. We were no longer being chased. Carter called his dad right away, and he came and picked us up. He wasn't the kind of dad to get pissed at us for trespassing or drinking or anything like that. He was more so pissed about the bikes, but he said we were right to leave the bikes and run.
So he didn't care. He didn't give a fuck that his sons or whatever were out there, or that they may have been hurt. They get back. They're like, "Dad, we got jumped." He's like, "What about the bikes?"
"You stupid whore!
You idiot! You left the bikes!" Or something. Which, to be fair, I'm just gonna say it. Like, bruh, how do you not know where you left your bikes? That's your transportation. How do you not remember? That's like me forgetting. If you forget your car in a crowded parking lot, that's whatever. But if you can't find it when it's like within a short distance, it's beyond me. So I don't know why they didn't go to their bikes immediately. You know?
So, yeah, I'm not even gonna ask.
At least this isn't like one of those situations where, you know, they saw that the person moved, then they're like, "We should go investigate more." Or, you know, they thought they were like Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Gang. Let's unmask them. You know, so.
You said that, and as soon as you said that, I got a notification on my computer. Let's unmask them. Ding.
All right.
The next day, he drove us back to that church, bringing his gun with him. We looked in the crops until we found the bikes. Then we threw them in the bed of Carter's dad's truck. We were about to leave when we took a look back at the church and saw someone at one of the windows. It had to be the same person. I guess when he saw us notice him, he creepily walked away from the window. Carter's dad said, "Let's get the hell out of here," because that was genuinely disturbing. For his dad to be creeped out meant a lot. He's a pretty tough guy. We went to some barbecue place afterwards and had a bunch of food and some drinks. Afterwards, Carter's dad called some town number to let them know someone was squatting in that abandoned building. As long as it was brought to their attention, at least we felt like we did something. Who knows if that man is still hiding in that church, though? Or who he was, for that matter.
Bro, why wouldn't you just... If you have a gun and you see him there, I would be mad as hell if he tried to attack my son. I would try and get him to come out. Or I would call the cops and wait there. And if the guy tried to run or whatever, then... I mean, and steal your only transportation, where's he gonna go? He'll get shot. You know? I'm just saying.
You make a point. No, you do make a point.
I mean, we don't know if that guy had anything either. He could have had a gun, but
I doubt it.
You never know. You never know. But still, because how else would he get out there? He has to have something that you don't know about. You know.
That's true, but you already know that homeless people are everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Well, we don't know if he's homeless. He's probably homeless, but he's also crazy, so you never know what he has. But anyway.
That or it could have been like a cult member.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of never know with that kind of stuff. That's the scary part about it.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's see the next one. That first one was... I believe that first one. I believe that could have happened.
Yeah, that's believable.
I live on a farm with my brother and his wife. We split the responsibilities in the busy season. In the off-season, they go off traveling quite often. My fiancée passed away a few years ago, and I haven't really put myself back out there just yet. I spend a lot of time alone, and the off-seasons really get to me. This was early October, right around the time before our last harvest. My brother Joe and his wife were out of town for a few days. Figure something like this would happen while I'm holding the fort myself. It was a night like any other. The windows in the house were still open to allow that refreshing October breeze to flow through the house. Outside, I suddenly heard a scream. It was the scream of a female. I couldn't tell if it was a teenage girl or a grown woman, but it was blood-curdlingly high-pitched. I sprang up from my lazy boy recliner and went to my gun safe in my bedroom to grab my rifle. I went outside to be greeted by the breezy, chilly air. I stood on the front porch for a second, waiting, and I heard the scream again. It was coming from the cornfield. I fired a round into the air as a warning shot.
That's literally from Outlast.
I didn't at that moment know what was happening.
That scream or the gun?
In danger or
no, the picture you see right here.
Oh.
This is from Outlast 2.
Oh, I've never played the Outlast other than Outlast Trials, so...
No, you're fine. Let me go back just a little bit.
Teens. I went outside to be greeted by the breezy, chilly air. I stood on the front porch for a second, waiting, and I heard the scream again. It was coming from the cornfield. I fired a round into the air as a warning shot. I didn't at that moment know what was happening. It could have been someone in danger or a group of teens messing around being punks. After I fired the round, I heard a woman's voice yell, "Help," before there was nothing but silence. I called out, "Who's out there? Where are you?" Nothing but wind now. I turned on every exterior light I had on my house, and I also grabbed my cell phone and called 911 as I walked into the cornfield, calling out, waiting for a response. After telling the operator what I heard, I was left to wait for a few police officers to arrive. There were a total of 4 that ultimately showed up, and with the help of them, we all checked the cornfield, shining flashlights and yelling out for anybody who needed help. I'd imagine that any time someone is reported screaming for help, the cops take it a little more seriously. After we ultimately found no one, I was told by one cop to call 911 again if I should hear anyone scream for help and that they'd be nearby. Then they all left. I went back inside of the house, not before taking one more look out to the cornfield. I closed the door and turned off all the lights. There's not much to do in this county for the local kids, so it didn't seem unbelievable that maybe it was some kids trying to scare some random farmers and homeowners. After another hour of watching TV, I went upstairs to bed. I took a couple melatonins to help me sleep, as I'm a chronic insomniac. Usually, I'd say that's unfortunate. After, I'd guess, an hour and some minutes, I heard creaks and clunks from downstairs. I just realized I never closed the windows downstairs. You can hear everything through the paper-thin walls in this house.
Oh, real quick. How do people forget this? How do you forget to close the fucking windows? I gotta ask, number one, that.
No, that's why you probably heard me go, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. And I was gonna say, this guy seems like a pretty smart dude for the most part. I wouldn't recommend going outside. I mean, he may have just been on his porch, so that's okay. But he at least had a gun. He at least, yelled out to see if it was somebody that was, in trouble. He called the cops. They all searched together. I'd say he did everything smart, except that last part. Why do you have to go... How are you this stupid? Come on, how do you go from that smart to that stupid? But anyway.
Floors make noise. I grabbed my cell phone and called my brother Joe. He picked up, and I asked him
Joe
in a whisper
Mama.
if he's home. He said no.
Shut up.
In that moment, all the hairs on my body stood up, and I knew now I was in fight or flight mode. I told my brother there's someone in the house, call the police for me. He was a few towns away, so it would be the same dispatch center. He said he would, no questions asked, and hung up. I tiptoed as quietly as I could to the safe and grabbed my shotgun. I know for a fact I made a noise as I crept to it, though. It was inevitable. I heard sounds from downstairs still. There was definitely someone in my house. I crept to the door and opened it. I looked down the stairway to the downstairs. I could still hear the breeze flowing through the house downstairs. The hairs on my arms were standing up.
Real quick, this is where you fucked up again. Why wouldn't you just wait in your room? Why would you explore the
hide
house?
in the closet.
I don't think you should hide in the closet, to be honest with you. If there was someone in my room, or not in my room, but if there was someone in my house, I would try and maintain, because dude, everyone knows the closet's too obvious. If you're just hiding in the corner or whatever, and you have your gun aimed at the door, and if they run in, just kill them. They entered your property, broke in, so, that's all you gotta do, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, no. If there's someone in your house, unless you're armed, I don't think you should go out.
I mean, I don't see why you should go out at all. This guy's armed right now, but the way I see it, if you called the cops, let them do it. Because there's more of them, and also because you don't know where that person is exactly. They could sneak up on you,
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Well, the one advantage you do have with that stuff is probably 100% of the time, you're gonna know the layout of your house more than them.
I mean, yes, that's true. But what if they're hiding in like a corner or something, and you're stressed? You might not. It all depends on the person, but you might not think correctly, and one little mistake and you could be screwed.
Yeah, yeah, to be honest, I'm trying to find, like, in my house, I know exactly where everything else, obviously it's my house, but I also know if someone was in the house, I would know exactly where they are just by hearing a footstep.
I mean, yes, but I'm saying, what if they're just like hiding in a corner or whatever with a knife waiting for you?
The nice thing is, let's say I was going from up to downstairs. There's only one corner, and even if I was able to see them, we have a nightlight in the hallway for my grandparents, so they don't fall at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would see their shadow, and I would hear it if they turn it off.
Okay, but let's just say that you didn't have that in this case.
It
was like this guy's layout right here.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I think you should just play safe, honestly.
Yeah, if that's the case, then probably just not even barricade yourself, but yeah, barricade yourself, but also arm yourself, so if they do get in the room, you can defend yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you do have kids, or like, if your wife had an argument with you and she was sleeping on the couch for the night, then then you might want to check on that, make sure that she's okay. Just might,
Sharon, no.
Think I'm marrying some Sharon? Fuck.
I just said a random name. Don't read into it.
Anyway.
I started inching down the stairs one at a time, trying my best not to make a sound. But I only made it down a few steps before hearing footsteps from downstairs on the wood floors creeping closer to the stairway, until a tall, skinny figure appeared at the bottom of the steps. I cocked the shotgun and said, "Don't move." He didn't listen. He almost calmly walked out of sight, and I heard his footsteps then pick up to a run through the living room and then out the back door. I yelled stop as I briefly attempted to chase him, but as soon as he was out of my house, I locked the door and called my brother. He said the cops were on the way. I locked every single window.
You also don't know if there's more than one, because remember, there's a woman scream. This is a dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
On the first floor and waited for the police to come back. It was the same officers. They did a little search of the perimeter of the property this time, with all the lights on. One of the officers said he was going to stay on the property for the night, though I don't think that guy was coming back after seeing I was armed. In fact, he never did. But the story doesn't end there. I was finishing up the last harvest of the season in the combine, and while doing so, I noticed a shoe in the field. I stopped the machine to go pick it up and examine it. It was a woman's shoe, size 8.5. This got me thinking back to the screams I heard, followed by the man breaking into my house hours later. I called 911 once again and left the shoe where it was to not hinder any potential evidence. When police came, they did another investigation of the cornfield, and they took the shoe as a piece of evidence to a possible disappearance. They even brought police dogs to sniff out any possible scents. The strange thing is, there was no missing female reports in our county, not at the time at least. I hope whoever's shoe that is still alive today. It makes me sick thinking someone might have been murdered on my farm.
Yeah, I hate to say this, I don't think they are.
Yeah, and it's probably the guy's wife or something.
When we were kids, our family had a vacation home in Hollywood, South Carolina. By we, I mean my 3 brothers and I. And by vacation home, I mean this 3-bedroom mobile home. It wasn't fancy, but it was part of our childhood and is still nostalgic to think about. Whenever we got off the highway and started seeing nothing but farms, we'd know we're almost there. I'm the second oldest. At the time of this story, I'm gonna guess our ages were 14, 12, 10, and 8. The mobile home was a little primitive, but we had electricity at least. The TV up there was very old, but it was good enough to bring our PlayStation and play on. We'd been going up there so long that we had a bunch of places we'd love to go. This big playground for an elementary school that we'd always play hide and seek tag in while our parents sat there and read magazines. This grocery store that we would love to play games in as well. We even loved exploring all the woods surrounding the property. The nearest neighbors were a bit of a walk away, but nothing too crazy or far that our parents wouldn't let us walk it. This was the first year that they let our youngest brother Todd come exploring with us too, while they stayed behind in the mobile home. We walked down a different road that strays away from the dead end, and it's worth noting that there was next to no traffic on these roads, as our mobile home was on a long road that eventually led to a dead end, so the only through traffic would be the few people who lived on this road. There was always this questionable looking house and farm that we never saw a car at ever in our lives. It sat at the top of this little hill overlooking the road. There was a small cornfield, which would imply that there were still people living there, but it was just strange how all our lives going there we never saw anyone there, whether it be a person or car. So between the woods surrounding the property, the 2 buildings, the shed, and the cornfield, we realized this was a perfect spot to play hide and seek tag. It was broad daylight right now. We decided our oldest brother Tony would be seeker first, and we'd go in order, oldest to youngest. So the rest of us went to go hide. I went to go hide in the crops. I heard Tony call out, "Ready or not, here I come," and so I simply sat down in the browning crops, completely hidden. I waited and waited until I heard a rustling in the crops and footsteps crunching the rotted dead crop leaves on the ground.
Oh god.
I didn't know which of my brothers it was, but I wasn't taking a chance. I ran out of the crops and into the grass and up the hill towards the red shed. I expected Tony to come out after me, but he didn't, so I figured it was one of my little brothers. I heard commotion as Tony was chasing my 10-year-old brother George down the hill on the other side of the house, and the 2 were laughing and screaming. Tony caught him, and so George was out. I stayed put behind the shed. Then I noticed Todd, leaning against the back wall of the house, looking at me laughing. I put my finger up to my lips to go shh, and he did the same. Then I thought to myself, wait, who was in the cornfield with me then? Tony came around the house and immediately and easily tagged Todd, and then he saw me since I was in a straight line of sight from him. I started running down the hill, which gave me a good speed boost, but Tony got that same speed boost, and he was bigger and faster than me. He caught me with ease. The 4 of us met at the bottom of the hill by the road, and I was supposed to be up next. But I asked everyone if anyone had gone in the crops as well. When all of them said no, I got scared. I told them I heard someone walking in the crops, and it may have been the homeowner, so we should leave. With that, we left in a hurry and walked back to the mobile home, where our parents were watching a movie in the living room. For dinner, we went to the local pizzeria that we all loved. From what I remember, our dad told us that nobody lived in that house that we were playing at. So, when we got back and it was dark out, we just knew we wanted to play flashlight tag now.
Oh God,
Our mom
this is
didn't
where it
want
gets
Todd
bad.
coming out with us past
Flashlight
dark,
tag?
and I'm sure they only...
You know what flashlight tag is?
I've never played flashlight tag.
I play it a couple times. Basically, it's just regular tag, except at night, and you have a flashlight to try and find people. It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. Well, when I was a kid.
Noted.
But
Would you play it again?
dude, my ass, my ass trying to run now at this point. I mean, sure, why not? I think it would be fun, but I'm not as
What
like,
if
I'm not a little kid.
what
I don't
if-
have stamina like I used to.
what if we got like me, you, Joan all together and we did flashlight tag in an abandoned location?
Well, we need more people than that. Number one, I want like 2 more people at the very least. But
Rin and Henry.
sure. It's gonna be tougher though, because we're all adults, and you know it's gonna be harder to hide versus if you were a kid. But I mean, sure, why not? Why not? I'll be kind of afraid of doing that though, because I'd be worried that this exact situation where some dude is walking through the mental asylum or whatever, who's not supposed to be there with us, is just gonna be like, "I see you," or even worse, you'll hear like the slug bitch go like, "Mike Wazowski," you know, Mike Wazowski.
My
My pussy stinks. Anyway,
Oh god.
these are kids though, and real quick, unrelated, but did you believe the last story? Because I think I did. I think it's believable.
Yeah, it's believable.
And all right, these are
I'm
kids.
kind of waiting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting to hear a non-believable story, but so far they all seem believable.
Mm-hmm. These are kids as well, and this seems very believable so far. But let's just hear the rest.
let us go because Tony was 14 and they thought he was old enough to keep an eye on us. So the 3 of us ventured off back to that house to play flashlight tag, which basically is hide and seek, but if you get exposed by the seeker with a flashlight, you're out. Once we got to the property again, it was like 90% dark out. They wanted me to seek this time since Tony did last time, so I turned around and counted to 60, and then I shouted, "I'm coming." I kept the flashlight off as a strategy to not give away my position. I could just barely see enough to navigate around. I ran up the hill to the house, which had no lights on. I peered around the walls of the house, and then the shed. I didn't see either of them. I looked into the trees, and decided to turn my flashlight on and look through the tree line. Still nothing, so I turned the flashlight back off. I knew one of them had to be in the cornfield. It was too obvious of a hiding spot. It was small enough that I could check it out. I got to the bottom of the hill by the cornfield and quietly pushed my way in. It was hard not to make noise in here, but I tried my best. I also kept the flashlight off to not make it obvious I was in here. I didn't realize until now that it was dark out how absolutely scary this was at night. As I was sneaking around the crops, I heard footsteps inside the crops. I had to be sneaky if I wanted to catch them. I honed in on exactly where the footsteps were coming from, and when I heard them right on top of me, I turned on my flashlight and yelled, "Caught," but all I saw was the back of someone running away from the light. "Who is that?" I said. "You're out." Then I heard this creepy laughter. It wasn't the laughter of my brothers, or any kid for that matter. It sounded like some deranged adult. I was frozen, apart from moving my hand with the flashlight around trying to see who it was. I heard a grown man's voice say very softly, "Can I play with you guys?"
Oh, hell no.
I saw his face. It was half covered by the few crops still separating the 2 of us. From what I could tell, he had this kind of deformed-looking face. I really couldn't tell if it was a mask or not. I ran out of the crops and started yelling my brothers' names, saying, "Run, game over." I heard them both yell back at me from the same spot. They hid together. I saw them running down the hill with their flashlights on. I turned mine on and told them to just keep running. We ran all the way down the road until we got back to our property, and we were out of breath. But I told them there was some deformed-looking, freaky man hiding in the crops, and that he was probably the one I heard in the crops earlier, too. I still remember their faces when I told them this. When I told my parents, they looked confused, and my dad didn't seem to know how to react. My mom made it clear she didn't want us going off the property past dark anymore. Honestly, I didn't want to anyway. I had trouble sleeping that night, thinking, what if that man was outside in the pitch darkness, outside one of the windows? I could tell I freaked everyone out a little bit with my description of the man. I had no reason to make it up, though, and they knew that. It goes without saying. I didn't go back.
Okay, hold on. Pause it for... As soon as he said, I don't know what he came for, is it bad that the first thing that popped in my head was Squidward going, I came for your pickle?
It's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. From what I'm getting, though, it sounds like some crazy meth head may have been in the fucking cornfield. And, yeah, I mean, at that point, you know, if it's a meth head, then... Because they said the face was deformed. And that... Two things pop up in my head. Either meth head or a scarecrow. Which...
Or, this is me, but Texas Chainsaw.
Dude, there's no way that's actually going on in the cornfield. Plus, use your chainsaw.
Well, Texas Chainsaw, not what I'm... You know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it, but why would some random dude... I don't know, I feel like it's a method, or... I don't know, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a method, because if you really think about it, all these crazy people that are in the middle of nowhere are probably high on something, or a cult. You know? That's just what I figure.
Yeah.
So...
As much as I hate to say as much as I want to say you're wrong, you're more than likely correct.
Back to that property up the road. Thank God it wasn't that close to our property. My family sold the property only a few years after this.
Alright. Well, that was a good one. I believe all the stories. But the last one, I don't know, the dude itself, it's probably just... I don't know, it's probably a method, though. I'm convinced.
I'm pretty certain it's a method too, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because I doubt that if someone was trying to go Texas Chainsaw on their ass or whatever, then I feel like they would at least target more an area that people go to more, you know? Because
yeah, they would.
It kind of was coincidental.
Yeah, so you say it's more of like just some random druggie hiding in the bush?
Yeah. Thinking it's some sped kid that thinks he's a scarecrow. On meth.
You know, yeah, you're probably right. Mm-hmm. You're more than likely correct in that.
Alright. I think this is the perfect way to end off the episode. 4 hours and 17 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. I hope everyone enjoyed. If y'all did, make sure to either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. We kind of just talked about whatever today, but it was still a good one in my opinion. What about you, Lenny?
In my opinion. I liked it.
Yeah. John's gonna be all like, it's because I wasn't here, was it? And my response to John is, yes. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was about to say, wait, hold on. Wait.
No. But
I didn't agree to this.
Anyway, though, hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, make sure you either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. And if you don't subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out, then Lenny will be in your corn maze, okay? It's not going to be some random scarecrow. It's going to be Lenny, who's going to be rolling through the crops and crop dusting his way around to find you, and you don't want that to happen, okay?
I came for your popcorn.
That's what you're going to hear in your dreams. He's going to be the next Freddy Krueger, except, like, farting. But anyway, though, hope everyone...
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
It's like 1, 2, Lenny... 1, 2, Lenny's coming for you.
Anyway, though, see y'all later. Peace.
See ya.